purposefully target a hospital.
The 27 European Union nations issuing a joint statement condemning Hamas for using civilians as human shields. 4 more attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East blamed on Iran proxies after a third round of U.S. airstrikes on Iranian targets in Syria yesterday. Former President Trump has lost a sister. Marianne Trump Barry was 86 and a retired federal judge serving in New Jersey for decades.
She was nominated to the district court by President Reagan in 1983 and elevated to a federal appeals court by President Clinton in 1999. Barry retired from the bench weeks after her brother's inauguration in 2017.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Trump calls himself the victim of a corrupt legal system as a civil fraud trial against him, his 2 oldest sons, and his business continues in New York. The defense calling Donald Trump Jr. as their first witness. The Stanley Cup champions visit the White House. President Biden singling out the Vegas Golden Knights captain Mark Stone.
Two back surgeries in a year, missing the second half of the season, returns for Game 1 of the playoffs, and scores a hat trick in Game 5 to win the Stanley Cup.
Vegas winning their first championship in only their 6th year as a franchise. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At SimpliSafe, our award-winning home security has advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Now get 50% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Once again, not feeling much like the middle of November. We're warming up as we go through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. 69 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly clear skies. 38 for the overnight low. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 69. Tuesday night, clear skies 40, and Wednesday, sunny and 69. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The retirement advisory group's waiting for your phone call so that you can start talking about your retirement with Thomas Helbig or Bob and Tammy Kershaw so that you can get to that worry-free point, that moment where you know what is going to be coming. You've got yourself very close to retirement. You've worked very hard, and you've made sacrifices, and you're ready to live off of those sacrifices. Congratulations. That's wonderful for you, but you want to make sure that you're talking to the right people, that you're taking the right tips and tricks to make sure that worry-free retirement works for you the entire time that you're retired. When you call or text 314-993-9494, that's 314-993-9494, you're connected to the Retirement Advisory Group. Then you get to sit down, it's at zero cost to you, and have a conversation. And then you find out how they have helped so many people who are very near to retirement or recently retired. Make sure that worry-free retirement is what they get to enjoy. Call 314-993-9494. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
Mark Cox here. Before you sell your home, you should know the facts. What's your home's true value? Which realtor will get you the most money? And as a seller, is the market still in your favor? I spent some time with my friend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Here's what she told me. The market is still in the seller's favor. However, these next few months before the holidays represent the last prime time to sell your home. Gloria said everyone knows you can't time the real estate market. However, you can sell your home in the months that are statistically the most profitable to sell real estate. For the past 20 years, Gloria has been successfully selling homes in our area. How's she been so successful? She already has the buyers, which allows her to guarantee to sell your home at your pre-agreed upon price and time frame, or she'll buy it. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is
Are you guilty of loving true crime? Pluto TV has entire channels dedicated to true crime, all for free. It's TV the way it should be. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The hand-wringing and cocktail party speculation about an alternative to Joe Biden is continuing, will continue. Guess what? Joe Biden isn't perfect. No candidate is, by the way. But we have to understand what the alternative is here. If elected to a second term, Donald Trump would prosecute anyone he deems an enemy.
Which is what the Democrats are doing. Jen Psaki. I know you were all wondering what she thought on a Monday. There you go. Now we can move on. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Monday to you. We had a wonderful weekend. On Saturday, the show participated in the Edwardsville Veterans Day Parade, and it was wonderful. We said this multiple times during the parade, but you could not order better weather for a Veterans Day Parade at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. And the crowds filled the streets of Edwardsville, all the way down Main Street and Vandalia Street, and we were honored to be a part of honoring our veterans this weekend. So I hope you had a great weekend as well. There's a lot coming up on this show today and then also this week. Tyler Bowyer is going to be with us. You've probably heard about him if you're in the Twitter area, if you pay close attention to a lot of Arizona politics for sure. But he is an RNC National Committeeman, Chief Operating Officer of Turning Point Action. A lot of you folks have seen TPA or TP USA. And he's the host of Swing State Update podcast. And one of the things that I really want to dig in with Tyler about, and it's going to happen at 12:25, so we are very close to that. He's going to join us via video, so join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We're going to talk to him about what the GOP needs to do to start winning again, because there are a lot of different opinions that exist in the space of why aren't we winning the way we should be. Everywhere you look right now, there is frustration and a little bit of anger. There's a lot of anger. It takes different shapes and different forms. And I'm talking about just among Americans, not on the left, not on the right. People are just upset right now. And if you look at the world is on fire. And you got to look at your guy in the office of the presidency. Maybe it's your girl in the future, but you got to look at the person who is sitting there, who's in charge of everything. And you want to be able to look at them, see them, and just kind of go, all right, we got this. Because that person is a reflection of America. That person is sent there by American voters. And that person needs to represent the ideas of Americans, the resolve of the Americans, and the anger at times of Americans. I would like to formally and publicly ask that we celebrate Joe Biden's 81st birthday on Monday, 1 week from today.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I think we should honor our president.
Okay.
On his 81st birthday, which is going to be 1 week from today. I'm really starting to yawn at the people, especially on the left, who are discussing whether or not President Biden's age is a problem. President Biden's age might be the catalyst to the problem, but it's not the discussion here. If President Biden were defending the United States of America at every turn, if he were upholding the ideas of the things that we want to see our president uphold, if Bidenomics were for us what he feels it is for him, we wouldn't be talking. We would be like, wow, and he's 81. Wow, good job. Way to go, President Biden. High five. Way to be. Even at 81 years old, this would be kind of like a feather in his cap. Like, look how great I am, even at 81. And now the idea that the discussion around whether President Joe Biden should be the candidate for the Democrat Party on the Democrat side is dancing around this issue of age. It's not his age. It's how he uses it. It's bad. And everybody can see it. Most people could see it going in to the 2020 election, but the compulsion of people who are uninformed and unwilling to vote beyond emotion about Donald Trump drove them to the polls to say, I'll vote for Joe Biden if that's what it takes to keep Donald Trump off of office. How is that working out for you? How are your feelings right now? And if your feelings are a little agitated because you're having to pay astronomical prices at the grocery store, at the gas pump, or you realize inflation is chasing you everywhere, and if you got a raise at your job, it hasn't caught up with the cost of inflation. The Middle East is suffering explosions. We don't feel as though we're competing with China. We feel as though we're cleaning up for China, says Gavin Newsom, the heir apparent to the Democrat nominee throne. It's really unbelievable to take in. And there are people out there who did cast a vote for Joe Biden who are very disgusted with the idea that Joe Biden is somehow or another going to be the nominee again for the Democrat Party, but they're unwilling to even conceptualize the thought of what life in America would be if Donald Trump were the president. All I want to do is take the people who won't even consider what Donald Trump has to offer this country because they're just too blind with their own hatred. I just want them to explain to me why this version of America is better than that version. Because if you look into the streets of the United States of America right now, we are seeing more hate on display in America right now than we ever saw, Summer of Love included, in the United States when Donald Trump was the president. We are seeing people actively protesting the existence of Jews in the streets of the United States of America. And what we keep hearing from the left, this constant casual association of the word Hitler with maybe Donald Trump, or the word Nazi with people who might want to vote Republican. Folks, do you know your history? Do you understand what Hitler did? Do you understand who Hitler did it to? Do you understand which party out there right now is appeasing the people who want to say, the Hamas terrorists kind of have a point? Do you feel as though the people who are marching in the streets, chanting from the river to the sea, supporting and cheering, and what was the word? Exhilarated by the idea of what Hamas did, is Hitler-esque? That is Nazi-like. But we have casually thrown these words around so much because we just hate Donald Trump. We're living right now in a historical moment of time where unadulterated and celebrated racism is marching in the streets of this country. Yes, I say this in the wake of the summer of 2020, where you weren't allowed to go anywhere without having to social distance from people, and you were forced to wear a mask unless you were crowded in a street protesting an element of racism, pushing it all towards Donald Trump as if somehow or another this was the burden that he has to bear because you needed to get him out of the office of the presidency. These movements that were somehow or another thrust upon us. The Black Lives Matter, I mean, folks, look into Black Lives Matter. Look where they are today. Did you donate to Black Lives Matter because you know that racism does exist in this country and you wanted to be a part of a solution? I bet there are people listening right now who did. And I bet you have some of the best hearts of any of the people listening to the show right now. You cared, you saw a need, you saw people who said that they were hurting and you wanted to help. Lots of those people initially heart on their sleeve, saw this movement and said, I want to be a part of something good. I want to be a part of something helpful. I want to be a part of something transformative in this country. Because you don't like hate. You don't want to be a part of it. You don't want to be associated with it. You don't want to be associated with it so much that you'll go find a sign that says hate has no home here and lists all of the criteria to prove that hate doesn't have a home there, except for the fact that who was saying that hate had a home there? Why such stark protesting so much that if you don't put the sign in your yard, that the implication is that, yeah, hate might live there. Hard to tell. There's no sign. Because that sign is supposed to politically be the opposite of a Donald Trump sign in the next yard. And the folks who took in millions and millions and millions of dollars for themselves, who ran an operation like Black Lives Matter, an operation that was intended to politically move people, not actually socially help people. That idea was made so that everybody understands that hate is the front line for politics. And division right there is where the line is drawn. It's hate. They can monopolize hate. They can monetize hate. And they did, and they do, and they are. There are people who vote Democrat and there are people who vote Republican right now who together agree on probably 80% of the issues. You're everyday Americans. You're working your butt off to try to make ends meet, to provide for yourself. And it is harder now to do it than it has been in some time. You are working hard to try to not get into political fights with your friends, your coworkers, and your family. You don't want to be seen as an agitator. But it's getting harder in your heart now because you've had it in your head for a while. But once it starts to boil out of your head into your heart and you start really feeling it and you see these things that are going around the world and you see these things are spilling out into the streets and up the light poles and flag poles in the streets of New York City where these pro-Hamas terrorist protesters are, was that the UN? Weren't they around the UN in New York City where they were ripping down the American flag? I mean, God bless America that we have that kind of free speech still, at least for some in this country. We are living in an upside down world because the things that actually matter aren't ever talked about. The room is turned up to 110 degrees all the time, so you feel the heat, so that you vote with your passion. What did Senator Kennedy said? Yes, absolutely follow your heart, but don't forget to take your brain. It's time to do that in 2024. It's time to make sure that in 358 days that we have our heads screwed on straight so that we can get this country back in order so that we can once again be the great country that the entire world looks to for stabilization and peace because we have our act together. And that's before we send any money anywhere or send any people anywhere or send any ammunition or supplies anywhere. We don't have our act together. And really, that's a reflection of you and me. Because this country, the government is a reflection of you and me. That's the way it's supposed to be. The people, we're supposed to send our very best. Is Joe Biden our very best? The Democrats don't even believe that he's their very best. They just believe he's the only guy who can maybe beat Donald Trump because he did it once. They're so scared of Donald Trump. What is Donald Trump going to what is going to happen if Donald Trump becomes the president? World War III? Well, they better hurry up because Joe Biden's about to get involved in that one right now before the next presidential election happens. What's going to happen? We're going to have hate and division in the streets? We have that right now. We're already there. How bad can it be? Every single thing that they threatened voters with in 2016 was going to happen if Donald Trump became the president. We're there in spades. With an octogenarian who doesn't even know what to do at a wreath-laying ceremony to honor vets. It's bad, folks. It's real bad. And we need a solution. And we do not have time. In the common sense, yeah, it's the Republican Party, the conservative movement. We don't have time to be bickering over inconsequential things that are going to cost us the next election. We have 358 days to get our heads out of our butts and do something about it that actually shows the world, yes, we have a solution. We have people who can be in charge. We have policies that are America first, people first, voter first. But it starts with you, and it starts with your activism. As soon as Republicans and conservatives decide to sit back and wait for their guy or their girl to get in charge so that everything can be fixed, you have ceded small government to the big government Republicans. It's on you. It's on you right now. Let's get to it. We're going to take a quick break. Tyler Bowyer is going to join us when we come back. RNC National Committeeman, Chief Operating Officer of Turning Point Action. He's also host of the Swing State Update podcast. And boy, we're going to need a few of those swing states in 2024, aren't we? Let's talk to Tyler Bowyer about how the Republicans, how did I put it? Get their heads out of their butts. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I want to talk to you about STS Armory. I'm pretty sure that my partnership with STS Armory is my husband's favorite thing about me. That might be an exaggeration. You're laughing, Brad, though, because you kind of understand.
I get it.
There's a sense of
there
truth
is.
in comedy, and
Yes.
here we are. Love you, husband. STS-armory.com is the website if you want to check out their location, how to get there, what they offer. They're in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. And if you know anything about Illinois and their hatred of the Second Amendment, you know that you need to know how to follow the law in order to be compliant. Just had a very dear friend of mine go to a conceal and carry class and raving about how great Katie and Jesse were at this education. If you want to start carrying a firearm, first in Illinois, you need a FOID card. They'll walk you through how to do all of that. Then you have to take a conceal and carry class. They can help you with all of that, and it's all at STS Armory. Plus, the purchases that you can make, my family has made several of our own at STS Armory. They guide you through the whole process. If you know exactly what you're looking for, they're going to help connect you with it. If you don't have a clue, they're going to walk you through. They're going to ask you the questions to make sure that when you get to the point of making a purchase, you're very confident that you've done the right thing. Call them at 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS, or find them online at sts-armory.com.
Hey, Bernie Federico here. Over the years, you've heard me talk about lakeside renovation and design. My friends Matt and Dan have been in the business for over 25 years and have done everything on my home, from James Hardy siding, Infinity from Marvin Windows, and even a couple of room additions. These guys are great, and you can trust them with your home. Check out their website to see for yourself all the beautiful work they've done. You can find them online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com. Be sure to ask about their unbelievable financing options. Lakeside Renovation and Design.
Mark Cox here. Join me next spring on a beautiful trip to Italy. This is going to be great. We're going to fly into Rome. We are going to get on a bus and travel south to the Abbey of Monte Cassino, maybe Italy's best kept secret. It looks like something out of a picture book. We'll visit Puglia. We'll go to Caserta. We're going to spend several days in Sorrento. You'll have an opportunity to visit the ruins in Pompeii, and then Positano, which is on the Amalfi Coast and absolutely one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I can tell you, my wife and I have been there, and we can't wait to go back. You can even take a high-speed jet foil over to the Isle of Capri, which has some tremendous historic Roman ruins on it that you can visit while you're there. $53.67 a person. That includes your airfare from the St. Louis area. Call them toll-free at 888-733-9494. That's 888-733-9494 or conservativetours.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Everybody gets high sometimes, you know. What else can we do when we're feeling low?
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You shouldn't be drowning on your own. And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over into cold, cold water for you. And although time may take us into different places,
I love America more today
than I did on May 22nd. But when I go back to Iowa, it will not be as a presidential candidate. I am suspending my campaign. I think the voters who are the most remarkable people on the planet have been really clear that they're telling me not now, Tim.
Oh, well, Tim Scott, is there any more self-aware person on the planet, or specifically, I don't know. This guy is the nicest guy ever, and it's really ironic to me that his polling wasn't more because people hate Donald Trump because he's not nice enough. So where are we on this spectrum of how nice you should be or can't be to be a presidential nominee? Where is the Republican Party going? How are we going to get back to winning? Well, I've gone to a place that I think is a safe place to have this conversation. We're all about safe spaces here on the Annie Frey Show. That's with my friend Tyler Bowyer. He's an RNC National Committeeman, Chief Operating Officer of Turning Point Action, and host of the Swing State Update podcast. Tyler, welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being here with us today.
So excited to be here, and I couldn't agree with you more on the importance of what's ahead of us here this next year.
So here's the thing. I live, the show is in St. Louis. I live across the river, 20 minutes from here in Illinois, blue state. I'm sitting in Missouri, red state. These states are kind of probably pretty decided which way they're going to go, probably. You're in Arizona, and we see Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia. There are Pennsylvania, Nevada. There are these states that are at stake right now that are must-wins, and the Republican Party's got to figure it out. What do you want them to do?
Well, here's what I've been preaching, at least from our vantage point. I'm one of the few conservative members of the RNC. We have a number of really great members of the RNC. Unfortunately, they're overshadowed by some members that have been there for a tremendous amount of time, and I won't get into that, but I mean, there's some guys that have been on there since H.W. Bush was president, and they want to see change as much as you and I want to see it. But what I've realized in my short tenure of being on the RNC, which I'm one of the younger members of, is that there's not a whole lot of business that gets done talking about the prioritization of how we win races, where we need to win, what it takes to win. These are all conversations I kind of expected coming into the RNC, and unfortunately have yet to even be, participating in this conversation. So I think a lot of Americans are watching, radical Marxists take over their local school boards, take over their local city councils, take over their states, now state senators, U.S. senators, even congressmen for sure. They're going, what is the Republican Party doing? How can we get our act together and defeat these people? And I think I figured out a lot of the reason why.
You got to tell us. I like that you're a younger member and you're kind of eyes wide open about this process. To me, there's this kind of swampy expectation like, Joe Biden sucks. Of course we're going to win. We'll just put people in that we can rely on to do what we need them to do once they get there because they're going to win. And we're not winning.
Well, the old way, it's really interesting. The old way of doing things in the Republican Party was just pay a bunch of consultants a whole bunch of money and try to overwhelm the left with dark money, and we'll win most of the time. And that was the old way of doing things. And the Democrats got smart and they said, you know what? The DNC is useless. The Democrat Party is useless. This is the Democrats, right? They've said the Democrat Party is useless. We're not going to rely on the Democrat Party to win anymore. And so what did they do? George Soros and all of these other guys that wanted to spend dark money in competing with the right said, we're not going to just trust, these goofballs to manage our money. We're going to build an entire ecosystem outside the DNC. And that's how we're going to win, because we're going to spend our money more effectively and more efficiently than how the right does. And that's the key element that's really missing. And it's so funny because you go to the RNC meetings and it's like, there's a total lack of awareness. And this is like 15 years down the road at this point.
It just feels stuffy even thinking about it. Tyler Bowyer joining us right now. He's the Chief Operating Officer at Turning Point Action and the host of the Swing State Update podcast, also an RNC National Committeeman. I mean, it sounds like you're talking about going from the bottom up. And, I keep hearing this is a separate issue, but it's also important to this specific issue. I'm not on TikTok myself. I'm conflicted with whether Republicans that are campaigning should be there, because there are voters that are going to listen to what TikTok says, and combining that with how much of the anti-Israel sentiment is being pushed into this country through this platform. It is so influential that the absence of our message there seems to be a problem. But China, so it's complicated. How do you take the old farts way of thinking for the RNC and turn it into something that is actually going to start cultivating new voters at a younger age?
Well, we don't have enough time probably to get into the weeds on what our theory is, so I'll try to simplify as much as possible. A lot of people focus on messaging and conversation and all of that, and that's going to come and go based off of the sentiment of America. It's how it's always been, right? That's basically how elections have been won and lost. Up until this last election, we had forever, I can't remember, it was like 60 plus years where it was, and if the economy was good under a president, they got reelected. If the economy's bad, they get kicked out, right? And so obviously COVID threw a monkey wrench into that. But what we realized and we've come to understand is, after doing now years of research on how the left has constructed this infrastructure, is that what they're doing is they're identifying ballots, and they don't care about anything other than just getting paper into a box. That's it. And so for them, they're spending tens of millions of dollars on full-time people who are embedding themselves in communities, and they're identifying people who never vote. The people who never vote. So it's unconventional, the way that they're going about this, because the way that we always talk is we've got to win over independents. We got to win over the people who matter most. And the people who matter most to Democrats now are people who have a low value on their ballot. And why is the reason for that? Well, it's because they can peer pressure them at the door. They can, manipulate election processes and harvest ballots. They can do all these different things with ballots that people don't care about. And so this is the reason why they've pushed policies like motor voter and automatic voter registration, and trying to lower the age of people who are voting, because younger people, like minority groups, like older people, like senior citizens, all can be manipulated at the door. They can all be manipulated for their vote, just the same way that you can manipulate them to buy Tupperware from you at the door, just the same way you can manipulate them to buy Mary Kay from you or whatever, right? Like, it's the same thing. When you go to the door with somebody, I use the Mary Kay example, not because there's anything wrong with Mary Kay, but it's like you buy from your friends, and if you trust your friends, you're going to buy something from them. Well, that's the same idea that they've placed, is stick someone in the neighborhood, say, don't talk about politics at all, go to the door and peer pressure them to get their ballot out of their hands. And if you do that 300,000 times in swing states, it's Moneyball. You're more likely to win those states. And that's what they've done.
Do we need to do that? I mean, is that how because we can't change the laws if we don't win the races. So is that where we're missing?
Yeah. So they're really smart. So guys like Eric Holder came out of the Obama administration, and they said, we're going to make it our life mission to manipulate America. And so they did. They came out straight out. They started manipulating the redistricting commissions. That's one. That's a whole separate topic. But two was they started looking at the processes, and they started saying to themselves, what's the most important race that we need to win in every state? And it's the county elections position, right? So whoever's in charge of that, they call that a recorder in some places, they call that the elections official in other places. That person is responsible for all these votes, the processes, the procedures. And if you get a hold of that person, you can start changing effectively how we conduct elections. And so they instituted this whole idea of chasing ballots and harvesting ballots to win those small races that no one really was paying attention to in red counties. And they started winning these things in the counties that matter for them to win the presidency. That's going to help them simultaneously win the Senate. That's going to simultaneously help them win congressional races. And it's a strategic approach, again, that's not happening in DNC meetings because the DNC is incapable of it. Just the same way the RNC is clearly incapable of it, because we haven't had one conversation since I've been there for the last 3.5 years. So now it's you look at this and you go, well, who's doing it on their side? Well, it's a network of 50 plus organizations that are all listening to one or two leaders in these key target states, and they're identifying, they're going, when you come to the door, and you say, hey, I want to be involved, I want to help the Democrats win, they say, okay, well, how many ballots are you going to get in the box? And they'll have people that disagree with one another sitting across the table from one another, blue dog Democrats, pro-life Democrats, with your traditional psycho, kill baby Democrats. They don't care about any of that. They care how many Democrat votes is the blue dog Democrat going to get in? How many votes is the traditional Democrat going to get in? And you have 50 organizations that all employ 10 people each. You can harvest a lot of ballots that way. And that's one way they're doing it.
What do we do? I mean, because I know for sure in the state of Illinois, I follow Illinois state politics. It's like a masochistic thing for me. I live there, I care, and it's just very difficult. But you just explained the entire way Illinois elections operate. And I always say Illinois is very much so a test kitchen for these far left progressive policies, because nobody pays attention to the Midwest while they're doing this. They can get away with things without a big spotlight on them. What is the way? Is there a way that Republicans can compete?
Yeah, I would argue we're already competing without even having any of these processes in place. We're barely losing in some of these states, which means that if this was 1992, we're probably winning those states by 10 points, 15 points, 20 points, right? Because none of these processes are in place on their side. If this is 1992, and this is where you get into it. You start explaining it to people. People go, well, how did this all come to be? Well, if you're from Illinois, you know the Chicago way of doing things. They had fleets of buses that would go pick up people all day long. Well, guess what's easier than fleets of buses? Mail-in ballots, right? And so this is the reason why they've instituted the all mail-in elections, mail-in voting. This is why during COVID, I believe they wanted an all mail-in election, was because in these key target states, now it makes it so easy to go, it's just a numbers game. You just got to identify how many ballots you need and then get out ahead. And that's notwithstanding all of the other manipulative ways that they're screwing with our elections all across the country, which there's many, many ways that they're doing that. That's not saying that doesn't happen, but you look at like the heartbeat of their operation, and it is the Chicago way. We basically enabled the Chicago way in every one of these states where mail-in ballots are now a thing. And so for us, we have to look at this and go, well, we have to get the amount of money that they're putting in, which is tens of millions of dollars. Because if you do that, it's just a math game, right?
Yeah.
They're putting 1,000 full-time people on the ground in Arizona plus to collect 10 ballots a day for 30 days. That comes out to about 300,000 ballots. That's your election in 2022. That's what they did. We know they did this with Mark Kelly's camp and did all this. But now you look at this and you go, okay, well, what is it going to take on our side? Well, it requires investment in those bodies. And so you started this whole thing with Tim Scott. Tim Scott never had a chance to be president, right? It took him how many months to figure out he wasn't going to be president? More importantly, how many tens of millions of dollars were invested into his campaign that could have gone into infrastructure in Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan? If that $40 million, $50 million, $60 million that was spent on his campaign was spent in Michigan, you win Michigan.
Man.
So that's the difference between the Democrats' way of thinking, the left's way of thinking, and where we're living in 30 years ago.
So I know there's a lot of pressure on Ronna McDaniel right now, and you're part of the RNC. I'm happy to hear that somebody on the RNC committee is talking about these things. If I have listeners right now in Missouri and Illinois, we have a Cori Bush, the congressional representative from the district I'm sitting in right now, has a Democrat challenger in Wesley Bell right now, which is a formidable opponent. Will be interesting to see how that unfolds. But there's a lot of people listening right now in this area that care deeply, and they need to get involved. They want to get involved. So if they want to be one of those people, I mean, these are what it sounds like. These are the people who are going to help win the election for the right person for the Republican Party. If they want to help, what's the first thing they should do or place that they should go?
Well, I mean, look, people need to understand you got to get involved as a precinct leader. So in Missouri, getting involved as a precinct leader as in the central committee, that's who elects your county chairs. Your county chairs and your county committees are usually what send the representatives to the state committee. You got to get involved with the party. And a lot of people don't want to. They show up to these party meetings and it's totally insane, right? It's like you've been there. I've been there. It's a lot of bickering. It's mostly run by baby boomers who are wonderful people at their heart. But there's a lot of, and here's what I try to explain to people. A lot of these people have held these positions for so long in the party, and there's been so many, snake oil salesmen and bad people have come in and out. But we've got to have patriots show up and be the type of person where you show up to these meetings and make it comfortable for people to hand the keys over to you. And I feel like there's not enough people who commit themselves to this process, and that's the patriotism that we need right now to take over the party, is because there's so many people who are new to the party, don't understand the process, don't feel invited. You're never going to be invited, people. You got to show up and you've got to get involved and you got to prove yourself with some of these people who have been there for some time. And then that's who ultimately ends up electing the people who serve on the RNC, and that's who elects the RNC chairwoman. So Missouri and Illinois, all three members from both those states voted for Ronna McDaniel in January. She won the election about 111 votes. I think it was like 51 or 52 for Harmeet Dillon. And Harmeet, in an alternate universe where these people, you have to keep in mind, there's three people from each state. So you're your state party chairman, a committee man, and a committee woman. I'm the committee man from Arizona. But a lot of these people, they get bought off by, promises of grandeur, money for your state party. They get promised committee assignments, committee roles. In Illinois, you have two lame duck members of the committee who are not even going to be serving, so they don't even care anymore. And so again, this is the reason why getting involved, it's like, hey guys, if you want to save the country, there's only two parties that have nominated and won the presidency for, because of the system of the Electoral College. We're always going to have a two-party system.
Yeah.
You got to save the Republican Party to save the country.
Yeah.
And that's where we need everybody's involvement. Get involved, go down to your central committee, demand change, and don't give up. Don't quit.
What a roadmap. I really appreciate this conversation, Tyler, because the people don't want to really, this is pulling the curtain back behind the things that pull the curtain back. So this is like three curtains into the stage right now going, what is going on back here? Because I can't imagine how many of super engaged political people could actually name who their committeeman is in the RNC. And to realize the more you bring this into focus, a hyper focus, that's the closer you get to being able to actually affect change. If you're a listener to Annie and Tyler talking on the air right now, like, you can actually be a part of a solution. And until Republican voters or conservative voters who don't even want to call themselves Republicans decide, I've had enough, I'm going to get involved. That is the essence of what conservatism is yourself getting involved and saying, this is how we're going to do things. We're not going to go with the status quo of the big government that is telling us how things are going to go. And it's inspiring. So, Tyler, thank you for being here with us. I would like to reconnect with you as we continue to move through this election process, because I think this is really good info for people to know and understand.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter, which I try to keep everyone up to date. Obviously, super involved here. Charlie Kirk has his show. We do a lot of live streaming as well. And so we'd love to connect with you on that stuff to keep people informed and involved. But I don't think we've ever seen people as involved as they are today with this stuff. And we've just got to keep at it. So I appreciate the time. And thank you for having me on.
Of course. The passion is there. Now we organize. And that's what this conversation is about. Tyler Bowyer, we look forward to talking to you again. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks so much, Annie.
Yep, you too. RNC National Committeeman, Chief Operating Officer of Turning Point Action, and host of the Swing State Update podcast. Great conversation there. Let's get to it. I want to I've been thinking about this. I had conversations with people in county politics in the state of Illinois, and I've met some folks in Missouri who are discussing these things as well. But give me feedback. How would you enjoy kind of if we had a conference of sorts, what to do, how to do it, how to get involved, where to go? Scott Pressler, a regular guest on this show. We love Scott. I love watching what he does. Did you see the UFC fight this week? I didn't see the fight. I'm going to be honest. I saw it on Twitter because I saw the beginning. I did not stay for the fight. And I'm somebody who boxes, and I'm not watching that. Can't. Donald Trump walks into this arena, and the crowd was freaking crazy over Donald Trump. And it was absolutely amazing to watch that. So Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America in studio in just a few moments. The YouTube live chat poll, how many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? 1, 2, 3, or 4 or more? Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, the live broadcast right there, and give us your vote. Tell us why you voted the way you did. We'll be back with Ryan Wiggins in a minute.
Sometimes, you know, it's how we learn and how we grow.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Shouldn't be fighting on your own. And if you feel you're sinking,
I want to talk to you about C.A. Jones. This is talking about living in Illinois. A lot of you folks listening right now also live in Illinois. It's your home. You love it, and I understand that completely. If you are looking to build a home in the state of Illinois, cajonesinc.com is the website. You can go to an interactive design tool on their website that is going to walk you through the different options you can make so you can visualize right there on your computer screen what your new home build is going to look like, down to the shutter cover color, the front door color, the shingle type. It's just fun, first of all, and really inspiring to go into their website and see all the different options you have when you build a home with C.A. Jones. I just read an article that was talking about how I think it was referring to a silver tsunami of a lot of boomer-age people who are going to be looking to downsize in the coming couple years. And if you're one of those people and you're thinking about downsizing from your full house that you used to have to something where it's custom, it's cozy, and you got place for the kiddos when they come back home from college or with the family, but you don't need all that space and you want something beautiful, cajonesinc.com can handle that. If you have an expanding family and you need more bedrooms, they can handle that as well. You can find out all the details online at cajonesinc.com.
I'm a pilot, martial artist, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. And now that I wear the inserts all the time, I'm not feeling the pain. They're comfortable to have in, and it's uncomfortable not to feel them in my shoes because I know the positive effect they've had. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call now 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway in Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeetstlouis.com. Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Enjoy comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. And Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
While no child should have to spend the holidays in the hospital, there are many at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital who will not be able to experience the joy of opening gifts around their tree. Please join 97.1 FM Talk and give the gift of hope and healing to Cardinal Glennon kids and support the Tree of Hope year-end giving campaign. Your gift ensures these brave patients can continue to receive the critical care they need during these challenging times. Thank you for giving at treeofhope.org.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure is just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and if invasive plants and trees have overtaken your pasture, roads, trails, or dams, then you need Missouri Brush Control. Their special forestry mulching equipment helps landowners reclaim their property. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. To learn more, visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
Hey, if you are just tuning into the Annie Frey Show right now and you missed that interview with Tyler Bowyer just a minute ago, get the podcast and listen to it. RNC National Committeeman. It was really, really good. It'll fill you in on what's going on with our elections. Excellent interview. The YouTube live chat poll for today: how many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucuses on January 15th? 1, 2, 3, or 4 or more? Let us know what you think. It's the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. The time is 12:51. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You could be watching this right now. Tune into the Annie Frey Show live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitch. You know what? Just type in Annie Frey Show live stream.
The preacher man says it's the end of time, and the Mississippi River, she's a going dry. The interest is up. Wiggins! Oh! Monday Roundup! Yeehaw! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's my favorite time of the week.
Happy Monday. Last full week before the Thanksgiving holiday week, so welcome
I
to
asked
it.
my husband yesterday something about, I don't even remember what the question was. And it was about something we were going to do next week. He goes, no, next week is Thanksgiving. I'm like, it is.
Shock.
Whoa.
Shock and awe
Guess
and horror.
Guess what percentage of my Christmas decorations are done?
100.
0.
No,
I'm
really?
really mad about it.
Oh, no.
We'll talk about it later.
Ooh, man. Okay, yeah, because I can tell you what percentage of mine are up, and it's more than 0.
I'm not asking that question.
Okay. The first story that I'm going to bring to you today, things that you missed over the weekend, is that Pink. You guys are a fan of Pink, right?
Her music. I'm not really that much of a fan of anybody.
You are a fan of the music. Hey, she's got a couple songs that I think are okay. I can't say I'm a huge fan of her music. Pink wants to.
You're not really her demo.
I get it. I'm within the age range.
She's not really strapping herself into those trapeze things for Ryan Wiggins.
I get that. But
do you?
As far as just my gender, if I was a woman, I'd be right within the demo.
I don't think it's just your gender.
I do.
I don't.
I'm going to read the first sentence of this from The Hill just because I love it. Pink wants to get the party started against Florida book bans. Kind of a first sentence is that. All right.
It says that's one of her songs, right?
Yes, I do.
That's
but
why.
You don't get the party started against Florida book ban. It's just a terrible first sentence. Anyway, I love it because it's so bad. The singer says at her upcoming concert, she'll be giving away thousands of books that are prohibited in the Sunshine State's public schools.
That's fine. It's not school.
It's not school.
It's not our youth.
And
if what?
She may be choosing to give these to kids, though. Don't know.
But their parents are there with them.
Yep. You'd hope. But she doesn't say which books.
I'm not policing what books parents give their kids.
Yes.
Period. Done. End of story.
Yeah. And by the way, the term book bans doesn't really apply since she's probably going to buy them in Florida.
Yeah.
When she's there to give out to people.
Yeah, show me where you can't buy those genderqueer books, because you can.
Yeah.
Which means they're not banned.
And since she doesn't say which books, my hope is that she buys them, reads it, and goes, oh, oh, shoot. I'm not going to give this out.
Imagine being the completely unsuspecting parent who's like, yeah, let's get the party started, and I trust you. Trust fall baby. Pink, my daughter's gonna go, and she comes home with genderqueer, and you've never even heard of this because you're just totally unplugged.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Pink used this to get to my child to prove that point.
Oh, you went to the concert. What did you bring home? A little comic book kind of book here. Whoa. I don't think you can go to Pink concerts anymore. All right, Liz Cheney says RNC chair Ronna McDaniel is collaborating with Trump's Nazi propaganda.
That's funny because the Trump folks don't feel it.
And another overuse of the word Nazis.
Yeah.
Former Republican...
Put that one on the shelf for a while.
Representative Liz Cheney ripped Republican National Committee RNC chair Ronna McDaniel for dodging questions Sunday about former President Trump's vermin comments, which Cheney described as Nazi propaganda. And just out of curiosity, in case you haven't heard the quote from Trump over the weekend, it's a typical Trump quote where you go, yeah, you could have said that better. But spinning it into Nazi propaganda, here's the quote. In honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, lie, steal, and cheat on elections, and will do anything possible, whether illegally or legally, to destroy America and the American dream. That is construed as Nazi propaganda by Liz Cheney.
I just don't care what Liz Cheney thinks about anything. It's just like inconsequential.
I get it.
She might like Pink for all I know.
She probably does. She'll probably be there in Florida. Real quick, what to know about the Devil Comet racing toward Earth is that it's not actually going to hit Earth. If you see this within, within the next few months, the peak time to see this comet, because apparently this is kind of like Halley's Comet where it comes around every so often, is going to be on June 2nd of this coming year, 2024. It's called the Pons-Brooks Comet, but it looks spiky, so they call it the Devil Comet.
It's very scientific.
Yeah.
This is from The Scientist,
That's
Ryan
right.
Wiggins.
That's right. Thank you very much. Be here all day.
Ryan Wiggins, capital T, capital S, The Scientist.
Capital R, capital W.
Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg on the Annie Frey Show to give us an update on the Middle East. When we come back, don't go away.
I can catch catfish from dusk till dawn.
It's hard to believe, but the holidays are right around the corner. Can you imagine the joy on Abuela's face when you sit down for the holiday meal and chat with her in Spanish? Or drop off some cookies at your neighbor's house and chat in Mandarin? With Rosetta Stone, it's possible. Rosetta Stone's immersive method helps prepare you for conversations in the real world, whether that's connecting with friends and family or taking the trip of your dreams. The Rosetta Stone Unlimited subscription provides access to all 25 of Rosetta Stone's languages forever, so you don't have to pick just one. And their award-winning app features immersive 10-minute lessons to fit into even the busiest day. Plus, every subscription now comes with access to live lessons, where expert tutors teach you fun new words related to local holidays, cultural traditions, food and drink, and more. Don't wait. Visit rosettastone.com/radio today to score 50% off, now through November 22nd. That's rosettastone.com/radio.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan is a phone call or a text message away. And while the economy is not really doing us many favors these days, shopping for a home and needing to find the mortgage situation that can accommodate and fund your needs in a home can be kind of complicated. Interest rates are crazy, and I understand that. So does Stewie. But this is the world we live in right now until we do something about it. If you want to get the best deal for you to buy that home and get that mortgage, Give Stewie a chance. So if you're looking to buy a home, I cannot stress enough, just text Stewie, 314-324-4440. Say, Annie keeps talking about the bagel loan, thinking about buying the house. How can you help me? And when you do reach out to Stewie, he's going to walk you through the process of how a bagel loan keeps you from having to pay any closing costs. This can save you 4 figures of money immediately up front, and then you're going to get the lowest rate out there that is possible. You can refinance when rates do come down. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sending a message to Iran. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A third round of U.S. airstrikes hitting Iranian targets in Syria after dozens of drone and rocket attacks on U.S. forces in the region blamed on Iran proxies.
We don't seek a conflict with Iran right now. We're not looking to escalate anything. We're looking to protect our troops in Iraq and Syria, and we'll continue to do that.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the U.S. airstrikes are aimed at making it harder for Iran affiliates to conduct the attacks. But since the new airstrikes yesterday, there have been 4 more attacks. Now a total of 52 in all. The deadly crash of a U.S. Army helicopter during training in the Middle East remains under investigation. 5 Special Operations Aviation soldiers were killed when their Black Hawk had an in-flight emergency while conducting aerial refueling training, crashing in the Mediterranean Sea. The Defense Department confirming the soldiers' identities today from across America: Tennessee, New Hampshire, California, Arizona, and Minnesota. Day 38 of war between Israel and Hamas.
Israeli forces still fighting block by block and street by street, overnight ramping up airstrikes not just against Gaza City, but also against Gaza's second largest city of Khan Yunis. They say they took out 2 Hamas commanders.
Fox's Trey Yingst in southern Israel. Today marks 1 year since 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in an off-campus house.
The University of Idaho holding a vigil in Moscow for healing and to honor the memories of Ethan Chapin, Zainer Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves. 1 year to the day after their murders in what was once considered a safe college community, where there are plans to demolish the boarded-up house on King Road, the scene of the crime that investigators call a critical piece of evidence in their case against accused killer 28-year-old Brian Kohberger.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Kohberger is expected to stand trial next year. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At Simply Safe, our 24/7 lifeguard protection helps stop crime in real time. Because during a break-in, every second counts. And these days, every dollar counts. Right now, get 50% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. It's U.S. News and World Report's Best Home Security of 2023. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Once again, not feeling much like the middle of November. We're warming up as we go through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. 69 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly clear skies. 38 for the overnight low. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 69. Tuesday night, clear skies 40, and Wednesday, sunny and 69. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I want to talk to you about jfedstl.org. That's the website for the Jewish Federation Blue Ribbon Campaign. If you are watching the horrific news that is taking place in the Middle East, and you've seen how a lot of this interaction has ended up affecting us here in the United States, and maybe you have some Jewish friends, Jewish neighbors, Jewish family, you've wanted to do something to get involved. You've wanted to do something to help. I have a solution now that you can trust. jfedstl.org, that's short for Jewish Federation, and their Blue Ribbon Campaign. It symbolizes support for the safe return of all 230 hostages taken by Hamas in Israel. When you visit jfedstl.org, you can learn about the Blue Ribbon campaign that shows solidarity for these hostages, and you can donate to the emergency response. Every single dollar of your gift will go to legitimate, established, on-the-ground humanitarian nonprofits who are saving lives, rebuilding infrastructure, and providing trauma relief. I am proud to stand with the Jewish Federation of STL here, and I hope that you'll join us as well. Go to jfedstl.org.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because ideas change the world. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisor Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. I have many female clients and widows that don't fully understand their investment choices. Would you like a retirement review and a second opinion on your current retirement plan? Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying, and would you like to learn how you can avoid those fees? Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees for the past 37 years. Let our family help your family. So go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about. That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
We are not in Gaza in order to occupy Gaza or to govern Gaza. We are there to remove the Hamas military threat against Israel and their ability to rebuild their capabilities and strike again and again, as they are saying they would like to do. That's our intent.
That is the Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Herzog. We're not in Gaza in order to occupy Gaza. And, you know, we've heard end the occupation. We've heard from the river to the sea. We hear these from the streets of the United States. And we saw quite a scene in the United States over this weekend in New York City from these pro-Palestinian protests. Let's get our next guest on the show with us, retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg on the Annie Frey Show with us. He's the former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration and the co-chair of the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. Thank you so much for being back with us, Lieutenant General. It's good to have you here.
Good to be with you, Annie. Thanks for having me.
I want to ask you to pair the reality of what is going on in the Middle East with the reaction that Americans are seeing in their backyard, in the streets of our country here, with these pro-Palestinian protests that we're taking in.
Yeah, Annie, it's actually kind of stunning to me when you think about it. I mean, you know, we fought a war that ended in 1945 that we said would never again happen, what happened to the Jewish people. And yet you're seeing people kind of supporting what the Hamas are doing. I have to think that people just don't really understand the history of what happened in World War II with the Jewish people and what's happening there in Israel. You know, as a reminder to everybody, Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, came out of Gaza into Israel on the 7th of October and killed scores and scores of people in a horrific fashion. And this is the Israelis responding to it. And people talk about the, quote, occupation. Israel hasn't been in Gaza since 2005. Prime Minister Ariel Sharon pulled all Israeli citizens and the settlements out of Gaza. In fact, there were 21 of them. And he basically just tore them down and brought everybody back, and then they kind of walled the area off. So the Israelis have not occupied Gaza at all. What has happened is Hamas, as a terrorist organization, took it over, and then they've been responding by attacking Israel with missiles, and then this ground attack that came out of there. And for people to argue against that or talk about that it's stunning to me. That shows a lack of understanding in the Middle East, but more importantly, I think it's a lack of morality. I mean, I don't know how they accept something like this that has happened, and they can talk all they want about occupation, but it's not an occupation. It's a retaliatory strike by the Israelis, and we just need to let them finish the job, which is clear out Hamas.
We're speaking with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. He is the former national security advisor to the Trump administration. And we had a previous guest on. It was a more political interview. And your expertise here is so valuable when we're looking at the realities of the war that is being fought in the Middle East, because we hear in conversation when, the political system in this country is trying to pull this tug of war back and forth as to who's to blame so they can get some political collateral out of it. Those words Nazi and Hitler being thrown around a lot. You served in the Trump administration. You've seen what kind of accusations have been levied towards former President Donald Trump. I want you to talk to us about the reality of what Nazism is, what Hitler did, and connect it to the reality of what we're seeing in the Middle East. And then, if you would, comment on how it's casually being discussed in a political sense here in the United States today.
When you go back to what happened with the Germans and Nazism, it was extermination of a race, of the Jewish race, and it left to their methods, the Germans would have done that, the Nazis would have done that. And so what happened is, as a result of that, it actually goes back to the Balfour Declaration of 1917, which there was a Jewish homeland and Jewish homeland in the Middle East. And the Jews have been there since biblical times. In fact, they look at this, Annie, in a very biblical fashion, which is amazing to me. When you hear Prime Minister Netanyahu talk, he goes back and he talks Old Testament. His original comment about what had happened on 7 October, he went back to the Old Testament and Ecclesiastes 3, which is time for all seasons, and he said there's a time for peace and a time for war, and now is the time for war. And if people don't understand the biblical background of this, it's a real mistake. And then you fast forward to what happened in World War II, and we fought a war to end that, and we said never again. And then people just forgot their history of what happened. And here's what's amazing: one of the big supporters of the Israelis right now, not even calling for a ceasefire, are the Germans. The Germans get it. They saw what happened. The other nations haven't. And what bothers me a lot, frankly, Annie, is the fact that the United States has lost a lot of their credibility and cachet in the Middle East. Look, they just had an Islamic Arab summit in Riyadh, and Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, was talking to President Raisi of Iran, and they were talking, and we weren't even included in the discussion, or even from a peripheral way. And it's almost like they've just discounted what we say and what we think about. That's the reason I'm saying we just have to go back to look at the history of what happened, to look at the history of the Middle East. They've tried to solve this time and time again and failed. Our administration, we tried to solve it economically through the Abraham Accords, and we thought that was the way out of this. Hamas didn't agree with that. Clearly they believe that the only thing they believe in is an eradication. In fact, it's written in their charter, eradication of the Jewish state. So this is one of those where I'd come on full circle. I'd say to the Americans, look, this is when we have to have Israel's back. We tell them, we know what you've got to do. Let them do it. And our job should be giving them a buffer meaning especially against Iran. Don't put your fingers in this. Let the Israelis do what they need to do to basically clean out Hamas and start all over again with a government in Gaza. When it goes back to the Oslo Accords of 92, the intent was the Palestinian Authority was supposed to have the governance inside Gaza and the West Bank, and they've kind of left that. There needs to be new governance in Gaza, and the only way to have new governance is for the Israelis to eradicate Hamas as an organization and as a threat.
One last quick question for you. We're speaking with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. You said the phrase there, people have forgotten their history. There is a grave danger in forgetting history. And if there's a positive for somebody else, if history is forgotten, I'm wondering if any of this you feel is intentional.
Well, I think a lot of it's intentional. I mean, the fact is we don't teach it very well. But I think what bothers me with the see of these a lot of these demonstrations is it's a real anti-Semitism in the United States, and it's really disappointing. And I would, here's what bothers me is a lot of these people demonstrate and say, look, let's find how a lot of those people are, and if they happen to be here on visas, send them home. And, we shouldn't tolerate that in our streets. We shouldn't tolerate this kind of. I don't have a problem, Annie, with dissent, because I think that's it's basically part of our Constitution. It's when it turns violent, when they start destroying things, burning things, kicking things, when there's destruction of property. That's when, to me, it changes over. But again, I don't have any problem with peaceful protest. I think that's the American way. But what I'm seeing is not a lot of peaceful protests and a lot of violence out there, and we need to put a stop to that.
Yeah, I echo those sentiments completely. Thank you for your time today. We always love speaking with you and getting your perspective.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye-bye. He's a retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration and co-chair for the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. Go follow him on Twitter at General Kellogg, 2 L's, 2 G's. Really interesting to hear that. And I've heard some people. Ron DeSantis was an advocate of this. I've heard other people talk about looking at these people who are just aggressively opposed to some of the most American things and aggressively supporting the terrorist actions of Hamas. If they're here on visas and they're using our American education system to make such a hate-filled statement, bye. Go. No more.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I like the counter arguments I've heard is like, but that's not American. That's not the free speech. And it's like, but you got to understand, these are people that aren't in the United States as U.S. citizens, and they don't have a stake in the United States.
Isn't it right to say they aren't American?
They aren't American. And so if you're here on a visa, you are a guest into our country. You don't get to come in here and, like General Kellogg was saying, break stuff and cause all sorts of trouble and then destroy or go after some of our more core values and then expect to say, you're here for an education and you got to behave yourself while you're here. And if you don't, like you said, bye.
Listen to the UN secretary talking about this issue.
When you are in the UN and you face a situation that is as horrible and as messy as this is, you must stick to principles. And since the very beginning, I have condemned Hamas. What Hamas did is horrific. Terror attacks, slaughtering women and children. And I've been very clear in the condemnation of Hamas. But there is a basic principle for me, is that Hamas is not the Palestinian people. And you need to be able to distinguish Hamas from the Palestinian people. And so...
Okay, I got to stop there. You need to be able to distinguish Hamas from the Palestinian people. The Palestinians need to be the first ones to do that. Mm-hmm. They're not. If these protests, and I say they, I'm talking about the protesters. I'm talking about the loud voices that are coming off of college campuses that are filled with people who are here on visas, who are out there using the conflict in Israel and Gaza right now as a way to wave the Palestinian flag started by Hamas from Gaza. Am I getting this wrong?
No. And like the other thing too is you have to remember is whenever October 7th happened and those videos started rolling through, do you remember that it wasn't just videos of bad things happening? There was videos of people celebrating those bad things happening. They're rolling through the streets of Gaza with, man, this woman's body was just bent in ways that it shouldn't have been bent.
I couldn't figure the picture out.
And she was in the back of a truck while there's people lining the roads, cheering, screaming, Allahu Akbar. You do have to separate Hamas from the Palestinian people, but I don't know where that separation is, and I don't know where those people in Palestine would identify.
The Palestinians should tell us where the separation is. It's on them.
And then, like, he goes on in that, and the other thing about this is, like, oh, you can't punish the Palestinian people. He completely disregards the fact that Hamas will use its own citizens as human shields. They've built their tunnels. They've built their leadership places. They've built their headquarters underneath hospitals, underneath schools. Why? Because they know that if Israel strikes those areas, then the very first thing they're going to do is they're going to run out photos of dead children, of dead people, of dead blown up hospital and say, see, look at what they do to us. They're using people as human shields. This isn't Israel punishing Palestinian people. This is Israel going after their enemy and their enemy hiding behind the Palestinian
This is
people.
Israel defending their right to exist on the face of the planet. And it's funny in a terribly not humorous way how the few Jewish connections, personal Jewish connections that I have talked a lot about this with, right after October 7th happened, I was warned, like repeatedly, to the point where I was like, okay, I get it. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I get your point. Everybody initially is like, oh, gasp. You're in the middle of the gasp. The gasp maybe lasted 48 hours, 72 hours, maybe, where everyone's like, I can't believe this is happening. And my Jewish friends were telling me, the tide is going to turn against the Jews. The Jews are going to retaliate. Israel is going to retaliate against Hamas, where they are in Gaza, and the gasp that people are feeling right now is going to turn. And I kept saying to myself, no, I mean, everything kind of has an immediate, this is the most trending story. Everybody is aghast at, I mean, good grief. Look at the horror of what happens in school shootings in this country. I dare not even say this on the air because I have a way of saying things like this, and then here we are. But we'll have a shooting, and it takes all the oxygen out of the room in the conversation for a period of time, and then it's yesterday's news. Do you remember what you felt like after Sandy Hook? Do you remember what you felt out after Uvalde, Texas? Do you remember what you felt like after the Tennessee shooting? I mean, we just started talking about that because apparently Stephen Crowder got the manifesto and parts of it and released it, so it was back in the conversation again. But why is it taking that long to have that conversation or to have the manifesto? These things become 24/7, 100% of the news until they aren't anymore, and then people start thinking about them differently. And I was told by my Jewish friends, this will happen here. People will turn against the Jews. And I thought to myself, all right, I understand, I get it, because it was repeated to me. They wanted me to be braced for it. And look how right they were.
Man.
They knew. Because this is how it works. Because Hamas understands that this is how it works. Because the only way for Israel to defend itself is to go after Hamas, which is saying Israeli children are targets and Gazan children are shields. This is their plan. And everybody who has suffered under this understanding of actual reality, not some manufactured, politically expedient reality that exists for, I'm not talking like the Republican Party, Democrat Party here, but the global political conversation that happens after any of these things. This is the modus operandi for these terrorists and the people who support them. And the follow-up conversation to that is, Hamas can't just be willing to die for a cause forever because they'll run out of people and funding, but they don't. So who's funding it? Where are they getting their money from? And of course, we all understand that it's Iran, and where's Iran getting its money from? That'll make you vomit and choke on it. So we sit here and we watch, and we hope that we have the luxury of only watching and not ever having to participate. The Republican Party and the Democrat Party alike are going to have to find a principle to stand on, and any detractors be darned. Because the principle is worth the cost of those who choose not to stand up and fight for a principle and a value. Not a poll-tested, vocabulary selected statement that comes out from well-researched, well-thought-out of, tested conversation where the total culmination of all of the money that gets funded into that is a policy of one word: don't. Here we are. It's very frustrating. All right, quick break. The Anti-Frey YouTube live chat poll. How many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? Just one. Now, people are telling me they're saying one plus Trump. No, that would be two. One means you just want one. One means you want Nikki Haley to be the candidate and everyone to coalesce around her, and you want everybody to drop out, or Donald Trump, or Ron DeSantis, or Vivek, or Burgum, Who am I forgetting? Chris Christie. Who could
Christie.
forget him? That part of the SNL skit was pretty funny. Join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and comment along. Tell us why you voted the way you did. We'll be right back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is waiting to help you with your flooring shopping, and they're the best in the St. Louis bi-state region. So if you're looking for flooring, I want you to check out Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. That's the website, igotfloored.com. You can go to one of their locations. They've got 3. The first one in Darien Prairie, the second one in West County. It's just a mile off of 270 West on Olive. St. Charles County as well on Main Street in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. Shopping at Michael's Flooring Outlet for your flooring will become a very exciting experience because you want to make sure that you invest in floors that are going to last in your house, that you're going to be happy with for years to come. They are a family-owned and operated business for going on 30 years, maybe even over 30 years now, and these are the people who understand this particular product. They eat, sleep, live, and breathe floors so that when you go to make your purchase, you get the information on the new technology and flooring that you need to make a solid purchase. Gain peace of mind and that your flooring and carpeting installation is going to be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. Get an estimate online by going to igotfloored.com.
Mark Cox here. I've got an idea. Let's all go to Italy next spring. I'm going to the Amalfi Coast next spring with my friends of conservativetours.com, and you can go along as well. We'll cover Rome, the Amalfi Coast, Puglia, the Isle of Capri, the Abbey of Monte Cassino. It may be one of Italy's best kept secrets. You know, I've been to the Amalfi Coast before. It is without a doubt one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. While you're there, you can take a high-speed jet foil over to the Isle of Capri, which is a site that everyone needs to see. Positano is absolutely beautiful. Sorrento is just gorgeous. You'll get to visit the ruins of Pompeii as one of your side trips if you go on this trip. It's $53.67 a person. That includes your airfare from St. Louis. Call them toll free at 888-733-9494. It's 888-733-9494 or conservativetours.com.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want? I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now, get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/sips. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now only at bartesian.com/sips. That's BARTESIAN.com/sips for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/sips.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
We're loaded up on Monday afternoon. Constitutional law expert Ilya Shapiro, political expert Selena Zito, our Attorney General in Missouri, Andrew Bailey. It all starts at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I got this target right here on my back. Aiming where I was, not where I'm at. They ain't stopped me since I was 18. I'm moving faster than my enemy. I can't slow down, I can't get stuck. I'd rather die than have to hang it up. Don't wanna look up and it be over. No wish that I had known it's my time.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm just kind of addicted to watching lefties say talk, like the talking points, the conversation on our YouTube channel. It's just so helpful. And I know that other people don't. You cannot be afraid of what other people think. You got to get away from the idea that if somebody is out there and saying something that's diametrically opposed to what you think, that is a bad thing. At best, it's an opportunity. At worst, just move on with your day. But it's so predictable. It's just it's entertaining. We are not in this country any more united than we were before Joe Biden took office. And that was the promise. That was the only thing that Joe Biden had to say for people to be like, well, you're not Trump. We'll give it a shot. And he talked about uniting people and bringing them together. And it's so not the case. And I don't really know. I don't know that there's going to be somebody who's going to be like, we need to bring the country together. And that any voter, anybody who's actually going to spend the time to get to a ballot box or to get your mail-in vote and stick it in a drop-off location or whatever it is, who is actively involved and engaged enough to actually be part of the voting public who is going to go, yeah, I think that maybe we could come together. It's just not going to happen. We're going to always be divided. The only way that anything gets any better is for you personally, if you choose to not let the division affect your relationships. And when the person on the other side of the relationship can't get over it, you just have to say, okay, well, if you change your mind, I'll be here. We're aggressively careening towards this idea, like this red state, blue state thing, where people are going to actively continue to move out of the states that they hate into the states that they love. Who's moving into California? Who's moving into Illinois? Very few people by choice. At least California has a coast and a climate. What is Illinois offering people right now by way of lifestyle that is making people be like, I would like to give up my home to go enjoy me some of that land of Lincoln. There's just really not a strong case to be made there. And if you look, I mean, people talk about the influx of people to Florida. It's also Florida. It's also lovely compared to like a Chicago winter to go spend those months in Florida. So they got that going for them. But there are people who are leaving California that has the climate, and they're going to Texas. They're going to Nevada is where a lot of them are going to. The outmigration of these drastically blue states is actually aggressively causing us to be more divided. Because you can kind of shop your politics if you're portable. Mm-hmm. What do you think of the Tyler Bowyer conversation at 12:25?
I thought that he brought up some really great points. I also was sitting here thinking, it's like, man, so much of our election process is based on the idea that people aren't going to take advantage of other people because they're a good person. They just see this as a way that, hey, I'm not going to manipulate other people. I'm not going to do that. And one party said, yep, nope, not going to do that. We will do whatever it takes to win. So he was talking about things like ballot harvesting in areas where people who don't vote. And the reason those people don't vote is because they don't care enough to vote. That's why they don't vote.
Can Republicans effectively get out and motivate apathetic voters to vote Republican?
I think they can, because it's like, hey, this is important to you and blah, blah, blah. And you feed them the same line, but you switched Republican in for Democrat and whatever. You say, this is why the Republican Party is your best option. You feed them that pitch, and then they vote for Republican, and then you just take their ballot and you go.
Don't you just handle it the same way that you would handle a conversation with anybody about when you're casually talking about like prices at the grocery store? Am I right?
Yeah.
You say that and everybody can collectively go, yeah, it sucks. What's going on? Well, I have a solution for it. Would you be willing to vote? Are you voting? And if not, can I explain to you why a vote for Republican Party is a vote for a better economy for you personally? Because the Bidenomics thing that, Ryan, that Joe Biden has decided to make his own, which I'm hearing Democrat consultants now being like, maybe we should leave that one behind. I want to get a DNC. I want to get a nice Democrat on the show, and I've got a few in mind. And I'm thinking about how to have this conversation because, believe it or not, I would want to have it respectfully. I do not want to have a Democrat come be on the show who is a Democrat spokesperson so that I can fight with them. I know some of you would enjoy hearing that. I'm not saying that it wouldn't end up that way, but if it does, I won't start it, but I'll finish it. Let's just put it that way. I don't have people on who disagree with me so that I can show the world that I'm right, because usually I can just ask questions and then you can, as a listener, deduce for yourself whether you think I'm right or the other person's right. The conversation is valuable. I want to know from a Democrat consultant or a Democratic advisor, explain to me how you think that an American voter right now feels better in Biden's America. Like, what do you think the experience of the St. Louisan, the person in Fenton, or the person in Godfrey right now, what are they experiencing right now that they should go, yes, that's because of Joe Biden?
No, I don't think there is. But I
want to know what the Democrat would say. Like, what are you going to sell me?
Well,
make me buy it.
That's a good question, because I don't know I know the answer to that question. I just don't know what their spin answer is to that question. The answer is, we're not actually we don't actually have anything that we're going to run on. We're going to just decrease. We know that the bar's been lowered.
But it's not.
We're
I
just
don't think they believe that.
Decrease the other side that much to where they look as low as we are.
I don't think they believe that.
Yeah, like openly. Or in their hearts of hearts. I think in their heart of hearts, they know that they're
gonna point to things like the infrastructure bill. They're like, look, the infrastructure bill. Or they'll point to things like we lowered insulin prices, made pharmaceuticals more affordable for people.
This is what they're going to say. They're going to say that the experience that people are having right now economically is the cost of a reprioritization, and it's going to come back to climate change. And then they're going to make it seem like they're saving the world. And that this is the price that you have to pay. I mean, the problem for the Democrat strategist and the Democratic politician is to they have to make voters believe in substance that the fancy people who get elected to these positions and the people who advise these elected officials just know better than you. That you were cared for under the Democratic Party. You're not cared for under the Republican Party because the Republican Party mantra is care for yourself. And that doesn't make people feel good. So the Democrat, I don't think there's a single Democrat strategist that goes on television who doesn't think that they have anything good to say and they got to spin it. And that, let's just talk about how bad Republicans are. They believe that they are smarter than the voter. They believe that they're better than the voter. And they believe that they have the people on their side who will serve in the capacity to do the things that need to be done to give all the people the equity that they need, even if they don't know that they need it, which is called socialism. The idea that you're going to get what's best for you, and if you don't know what's best for you, you're just going to have to trust us because the adults are in charge. That was the freaking campaign promise of the Biden administration, and they have delivered. They have done everything they could to take the abundance of success that exists in a people first, American first, not America first, but American first governmental structure where in a democratic republic, the people and the Constitution reign supreme over the government. The government down there at the bottom. The Constitution, the American people, and then down here, the people who you elect to represent you. They just want to turn it over on its head. If the Constitution says something they don't like, they create a committee or a bureaucratic board or something in the FBI that says that those Catholic churches, man, those domestic terrorists, we should embed people in them. And in the schools, they're teaching things that they shouldn't be. So we're going to keep our eyes on them. And those domestic terrorists over there, we got to do something about that. They want to flip the whole thing on its head so that the government is at the top and the people in the Constitution are under it. If the Constitution doesn't work, I got to ask you on the break if there's a word that I could say. I got to write it down.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you yes.
I don't know. I don't trust you.
Don't ask Brad. Ask me.
Let's trust but verify.
Okay.
Well, can we? The idea that the Constitution might kind of get in the way of the things that they know what's best for us. What are we sustaining in that type of structure? Government. It's bass-ackwards. Can I say that?
I think you're fine.
You didn't dump it.
No, you can't say that.
I can probably say the bad one. I can say that, right?
I think so,
You can say it like the bad way?
I think so.
Because there are 12-year-olds in the car right now with mom and dad who are snickering, and there are 7-year-olds who are like singing the Bluey theme song. They didn't hear it. I'd like to sing that with you. I don't know. I don't think that Democrats these people don't think that they're messing up.
Okay. If I'm going down that road with you, which I get.
You're invited.
I'm invited there because the one thing that, as you're talking about that I'm like, you know what? They really, really do believe this is that you are too stupid Republicans. There's a lot of MAGA Republicans that we hate as Democrats, but there are certain Republicans that we like just enough to let you know that we saved you from fascism. We're so great that we knew ahead of time that we had to do anything we could to save democracy for your sake, and we did it. And in fact, we continue to do it by prosecuting your nominee with every lawsuit that we can find. That's how we're saving democracy. I think that you're right that they actually do believe that.
It's a religion. It is the religion. And another thing, since you brought up fascism, that F word, when we talk about fascism and fascist, you're talking about you have a single person who like reigns supreme over this whole system, and this person controls the messenger. This person is the one who gets to determine who gets to talk about what, when, and what they say. The right hasn't been super successful at that so far. If you want to look at the last 20 years and see how the message has been controlled in this country, the Republicans are failing at it drastically. If you were to say, I don't know, dig into some Twitter files and see how the actual government is working to control the message and who can say what and when they can say it and where they can say it, there is a party whose platform secretly is to do just that. Look at what they did during COVID. My goodness. Look at what they've been able to do with the new town halls in our social media platforms. Who can say what and when? I mean, how many slaps in the face have we gotten from our video provider? I'm waving to you folks on YouTube and other places where we stream, where they've said, no, you can't say that. That's not allowed here. I haven't talked about this yet. we had I don't know how many strikes we've had on the YouTube channel. How many strikes did you get for us, Ryan?
They're all mine, I think.
No, there's one that was mine.
Was yours? Okay.
There was one.
I know that I was responsible for a good deal.
Yeah,
of them.
you got us in the most trouble.
Yeah,
which I know you're proud of.
I kind of am.
Yeah, I know. I know. You have no regret. Maybe just a teeny bit of shame.
I mean, I just kind of feel bad for you, but overall, I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah. You're not backing down from anything you did or said, I'm sure. But there was a development. I don't even know if I've talked to you guys about this on our YouTube channel in the last couple weeks, because the first thing you get on a YouTube channel, on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, or anybody, the first thing you get is a warning. It's like, hey, bad boy, Ryan Wiggins, you can't do that here. So they take the content down, but it's just a warning. It's like a little slap on the wrist. Not the, floor drops out and you're gone. And then they give you a strike, and then they give you 2 strikes, and if you get 3 strikes, guess what? You are out. 2 strikes, you get suspended for maybe a couple months, or maybe it's a month. 1 strike, you're suspended for a week. A warning, like I said. So the warning never goes away. But there's a development on that. Would you like to know what it is?
Yeah, I really would.
Will you listen through the break?
No, I think I'm going to go.
Okay. You can sit in your office and listen.
No, I just got so much going on.
Join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel right now and vote in the live chat poll. How many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? 1, 2, 3, or 4 or more. And a reminder, Donald Trump is one of those candidates. It's not like the field outside of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, if you vote 1, mostly thinking you're assuming it's Donald Trump. So tell me, how many people should be actively in that race come January 15th in Iowa? We want to know what you think. Leave a comment, leave a vote. I'll tell you about our YouTube channel when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
AirComfortService.com. As the winter months approach us, you want to make sure your furnace is in good working order. But there's something that you can add to your furnace, which we added in the Frey household. It is a game changer for your comfort zone in your house. Now, we have our bedrooms on one level of the house, and at nighttime, especially, that dry air that seeps in with the cold air into your home when it's super cold outside can cause nosebleeds, especially for my son. He's super prone to them, and he'd wake up and it was a crime scene, basically. And a lot of this had to do with the dry air that he was breathing through his nose while he was sleeping. I've experienced nosebleeds because of dry air before, especially growing up, and dry, cracked skin, and just a whole like a creaky house and everything. Air Comfort Service has a solution for this. They can install a whole home humidifier that goes into your furnace system and just breathes that moisturized air throughout your house. We used to have multiple humidifiers set up throughout our house in the hallways. They're kind of clunky. They get in the way. They do the trick, but you got to run them. You got to fill them. It's a pain in the butt. We don't have to do that anymore. Those don't even come out of storage anymore because of what Air Comfort Service was, what they did for us. If you're interested in a whole home humidifier that's helped our family get in our comfort zone, go to aircomfortservice.com.
Feels good to be home. Our local Ashley store has the biggest and best Black Friday furniture and mattress deals going on right now. Literally everything is on sale throughout the store, including up to 75% off designer-picked holiday hot buys. Plus, you can shop confidently because Ashley's price match guarantee ensures you'll get the best price. So if you're looking for trend-forward styles at unbelievable Black Friday prices, shop your local Ashley store today, only at Ashley.
The Capitol Grill is effortlessly arranged and customized for you. Whether it's a private room, an elegant table setting, dry-aged steaks paired with world-class wines, or an intimate party or business reception, make this part of your memorable private dining experience this holiday season. Every private dining room is elegantly appointed and offers seating capacities that range from 12 to 60. For reservations, call the Capitol Grill in Clayton today, 314-725-0930, or visit thecapitolgrill.com.
The overhead
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is celebrating veterans this November. Mark Cox here. Overhead Door Company is doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services for November. That means veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Choose a new garage door opener, or any service or repair and save 10%. Call them at 314-781-5200 or go to overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Refresh, restore, and protect your investment. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Tell them Mark Reardon sent you. Call 314-474-2020 or book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-238-7360.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan. In celebration of McKelvey Homes' 125th anniversary, we're having our biggest sale of the year. Save up to $89,000, get special financing in the fives, and free closing costs on all move-in ready homes. Visit the Preserve on Mackenzie Road near Watson for a variety of homes from the 400s, or Inverness in St. Charles at Bryan and Feisey Road. Don't miss this opportunity to save big and get in before the holidays. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Hey, get the podcast today because the interview with Tyler Bowyer that Annie did at 12:25 is one that you're really going to hear if you want to hear about Republicans, elections, what they're doing wrong, what they may be doing right, and which direction they're going. That's very, very good. First hour, get the podcast. It's 151 right now. Also, by the way, vote in the YouTube live chat poll, which is how many GOP candidates should still be in the race come Iowa caucuses on January 15th? 1, 2, 3, or 4+. Those are your options. The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll today. 151. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Not just right and left, right and wrong. We're discussing it every day on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I heaver,
It's such a weird line in this song. He's saying if I heave. What is he saying?
Wait, what's the line? If I get drunk, I'm going to get drunk next to you. I know that.
500
Is it
miles.
right after that?
And if I heave. Isn't he saying if I heave-a?
If I heave
I'm going to be the man who's heaving next to you. Isn't that what he says?
I don't know. I got to look this
If
up.
if I got this line wrong and I decided to make that public.
He's got a pretty thick accent, so he might be saying something
What
else.
kind of accent is it?
Irish?
Yeah.
The Proclaimers? Is that what it is?
It says the internet says if I haver or haver.
Haver.
If I haver, hey, I know I'm going to be the man who's havering
next
to you.
Or
Havering to you.
what does that mean?
I don't know. Let's look
Havering.
that up.
Does anybody else thought it was because he's talking about if I get drunk and if I heave? I'm like, I don't want that kind of a friend.
Wait, it says havering meaning in Scottish, so maybe they're Scottish.
Scottish.
Yeah, that makes more
What
sense.
does havering? I'm not the first person to Google this.
In Scottish, haver means to maunder.
To talk nonsense, gibberish, or speak rubbish, which is way better than barfing. Did anybody else think that? Did you think that?
I never put that much thought into it.
I never thought about it.
I mean, but it's not unrealistic.
No, because you're talking about drinking right before that. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm going to be the man who gets drunk next to you.
Doesn't it make sense that the next...
If I throw up, hey, I know I'm going to throw up all next to your feet.
This is a game changer. I always kind of love... that song hits, you hear it, and you're like, oh, yeah, turn that up. And then you get to that point, and you're like, man, I'm out. I'm not interested.
That just means to mumble gibberish.
You guys want to hear what happened to our YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a notification. It was in the middle of volleyball practice. So this would have been the last week of October into the first weekend in November, because that's how volleyball was over the first weekend in November. And it said that I had gotten a warning on our YouTube channel. I'm like, God dang it. What do we do now?
This. Yeah, I remember going, what? That's not even a thing.
How do you know? I didn't talk about it.
Oh, I thought you talked about maybe privately that you had a warning that was based on nothing.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was a warning based on the same video that got us our first warning, which was you and you and one of our fill-in hosts having a conversation, I think, when I was out having a baby. We got a warning on that. It was from 2021.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same video that got us our first warning. But now they will allow you to take training to get rid of the warning. So I did it. I took the training. There's a quiz involved. And I videoed the whole thing on my phone while I did it, so I can share it. But I don't know if I shared it, am I going to get a strike on YouTube?
What, they don't want you to see their quiz?
I don't know. I mean, how could they not want? I'm sharing the good news. The whole process is basically saying, okay, you messed this up, but you might not have meant to mess it up, so let's educate you on how you could have done it right.
Oh, it's a re-education video.
It is. It's a re-education camp, and I took it. I infiltrated it. But this was a while ago. What should I do with it? Should I share it?
Yeah.
I should have made you take it. But then they'd have been like, nope, 3 strikes.
Yeah.
All at once.
I would have been like every wrong answer possible.
What do you think about that? That they're now shifting on YouTube? Because I mean, if you think about it in the vein of they're not just dropping the hammer on people anymore. Because it's really YouTube saying, okay, we'll take this warning off of your account. Here's what you need to do.
It's the equivalent of sensitivity training for a public figure when they come out and they say something that they clearly meant
insensitive.
And then somebody goes, oh, so-and-so said this. And they go, you know what? I kind of need to retract that. I need to back that up. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take sensitivity training. And everybody goes, oh, good. He's going to be fine then. YouTube's doing that. And everybody knows it's just a ruse.
I'll get to some of the questions and maybe read some of them and see if you guys can get the right answers.
That sounds great.
There was one I didn't get the right answer. They just let you keep guessing until you get it right. It's like, I don't even know if you're that serious about this. It's just like you're hanging on by a thread and you won't let go. But we'll take that warning away. Go vote in the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
I was talking to a colleague today about Andrea's restaurant in Fairview Heights, O'Fallon, Illinois, and she said, oh, I know, and I've heard about it, but I've never been there. And you know why? She lives in Missouri, and she thinks it's making some kind of pilgrimage to go into Illinois. So I'm telling you right now, if that's you, you've heard me talking about Andrea's Restaurant for a long time, and probably others too, because it always gets voted one of the best, if not the best steakhouse. I think they sometimes will just try to not give it to them every year, but usually it's them. Best steakhouse in St. Louis. You got to make the trip, especially this holiday season. Lots to celebrate. It's a great place to go with family. In fact, it's family run for 3 generations now. Sam and Muggs Andrea, started the restaurant back in 1978, and it is still the same family running Andrea's Restaurant today, a family that I very much love, the Andreas and Kennison family. So love those guys. I hope that you do too. You will love the restaurant. I can guarantee you that. Visit them online at andreas.com.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Have you ever wondered how America's most successful people build their wealth? By investing in tax liens. And you can too. The Tax Lien Code Masterclass is coming right here to St. Louis, where you'll have the opportunity to learn the same simple blueprint that tax lien investor Brian Peterson and his partners have used to purchase over $40 million in tax liens. With tax lien investing, you can earn government-secured double-digit returns on your investment as high as 30%. And that's just the beginning. Listen, if you've ever been interested in real estate investing but weren't sure how to get started, this is your chance. No prior experience needed. For 2 free tickets to the 2-hour Tax Lien Code Masterclass right here in St. Louis, text EARN to 26022. Hurry, with high demand, seats will fill up. Text EARN to 26022. Get 2 free tickets now. Text EARN to 26022.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A first for the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The justices adopting a code of ethics while emphasizing it's a set of rules that, for the most part, are not new and voluntarily followed. But they've been facing public pressure over financial benefits, including travel and undisclosed gifts.
The Senate Judiciary Committee, led by Democrat Dick Durbin, has considered passing its own ethics policy and planned subpoenas for conservative activists accused of influencing the court. A statement from the justices says the code largely represents a codification of principles that have long been regarded, but is being issued to dispel misunderstanding.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The newly adopted code includes standards for financial activities, impropriety, recusal from cases, and extrajudicial activities. Caught in the crossfire in Gaza, with health officials reporting more than 11,000 Palestinians dead, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller says the U.S. believes Israel could do more to minimize civilian casualties.
What those additional steps are, we've had very direct conversations with them about that, but I will keep those conversations private.
He also says hospitals should be protected, but that Hamas continues to use hospitals as command post locations, and that the group is using fuel reserves to protect Hamas fighters instead of giving fuel to the hospitals to help patients. Answering a shouted question about the hospitals in Gaza, President Biden telling reporters he hoped for less intrusive action from the Israeli military. Renewed rocket fire from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel.
It's the first that we've seen in a while. Sirens sounding here, sending thousands to bomb shelters. And quite remarkable that 38 days into this conflict, the Israelis are still facing rocket fire from Gaza. There are sirens sounding in the city of Tel Aviv. That is Israel's second largest city. An indication that Hamas and Islamic Jihad still have long-range rockets that they are using against major population centers.
Fox's Trey Yingst in southern Israel. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At Simply Safe Home Security, your safety is the only thing that matters. That's why you get 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, because every home deserves to be protected. Right now, get 50% off the whole home security system named the best of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. Visit simplysafe.com/radio to save big today. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Once again, not feeling much like the middle of November. We're warming up as we go through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. 69 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly clear skies. 38 for the overnight low. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 69. Tuesday night, clear skies 40, and Wednesday, sunny and 69. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
TheDiamondShop.net's website to go see what the Diamond Shop has to offer for you right now. But I can tell you specifically, this Thursday, November 16th, it's Girls' Night Out. This is a huge opportunity. Gentlemen listening, send her away for an evening from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. because it's gonna make everything easier for you, and she's gonna love it. It's at the Diamond Shop. You're gonna want to encourage her to enjoy this. I'm talking about Ryan Wiggins' family over here. I'm sorry.
Just keep using the word let. I like that.
You just increase the old Mrs. Wiggins allowance in her mind for an evening. Let her browse.
I'm not going to do that.
You better go to the Diamond Shop and get her something nice. I'm going to see her this weekend.
You're going to get me to the point where I need to.
And I'm going to tell her, oh, you should see what he's got picked out for you. And then I'm just going to leave it at that.
You would do that.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that. The Diamond Shop is celebrating their Girls' Night Out, where you get to go check out the beautiful items there. You get to create a wish list. And then that wish list gets sent back to that other significant person in their life who can pick from the wish list and know that you're going to hit a home run. That's really that simple. It's a great idea. It's this Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Diamond Shop in Clayton. The Diamond Shop has jewelry specials all night long, including 50% off all diamond jewelry. Girls' Night Out, November 16th at the Diamond Shop, 12 North Central in Clayton. You can call them if you have questions at 314-721-2210, 314-721-2210, or find them online at thediamondshop.net. It's Annie Frey, and I'm inviting you to join me and support Jewish Federation's Blue Ribbon campaign. The Blue Ribbon symbolizes support for the safe return of all 240 hostages taken by Hamas terrorists and unites you with people of all religions, races, and nationalities in telling the people of Israel they are not alone. Be part of the movement. Tell Israelis they are not alone. Every dollar donated goes to saving lives and providing support in Israel. Visit jfedstl.org to learn more and donate. jfedstl.org.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now, get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/sips. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now only at bartesian.com/sips. That's BARTESIAN.com/sips for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/sips.
Some parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer, and some need the closeness and comfort of Gillette Intimate Razor, while others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Are we one of your top presets?
You were giving off that vibe, so if you want to take it to that level.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We've had a great show so far. At 12:25, we spoke with Tyler Bowyer, who's the RNC National Committeeman there in Arizona. He's the Chief Operating Officer of Turning Point Action and the host of the Swing State Update podcast. And we talked about what the Republican Party needs to do to get back to winning. And he was pretty blunt. And it's funny to me how some of the people who were criticizing him on our YouTube chat were like referring to him as a kid. And I just thought, when he's an RNC National Committee man, but if his age seems too young, that's problematic. Is there an age where you're too old to have an opinion? I don't know. Just asking for a friend and a nation.
Thank you. On behalf of that nation.
Do you feel heard?
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Like,
up until this moment, I thought nobody knew what I was going through.
It failed to cross my mind to ask Tyler Bowyer how old he was. I didn't know if you qualify.
How old are you?
I don't care what the RNC
How much do
thinks.
you weigh?
Yeah, or the people at Turning Point Action. Can you even vote?
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous.
Is he like, in his 30s or... and put that in an email with that tone.
I'll check his bio and see if his birth date is in there. You guys ready for a little Dear Abby?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes. I want to hit the other side of the generation here now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. This will resonate with you.
Thank you. Yeah. I keep my toilet paper facing outward, to answer your question.
I don't know what he's talking
That's what
about.
I did. That's the questions of Dear Abby, isn't it? Like oh no, that's Miss Manners. I'm sorry. Miss Manners. Which way do we keep the toilet paper roll?
Are you okay?
This is just he's having
Clearly I'm not.
He's just having a senior moment. It's
I'm so
okay.
excited that somebody's finally speaking for me.
You too can vote for this for your presidency. You just put your arm around him and be like, let's go get a snack and take a nap.
Yeah.
Have some ice cream.
I just shuffle right over to wherever you're leading.
Like a Roomba. Dear Abby, my father-in-law and I are just cut from different cloth. We are political opposites. Although we do get along for the most part. On a family vacation, we were visiting them. We were going out for dinner. My wife and I knew he was going to take us to a restaurant we both have ethical issues with. I handed him a 10% off coupon for a different nearby restaurant and said, here's another option for dinner. When he responded that he thought we'd go to the first place, I said, sorry, I have some moral issues with it and won't eat there. Is there somewhere else we can go? He then blew up at me, saying things like, if you're not paying, what difference does it make? And since you're our guest, it's rude of you to refuse. My wife agreed that he was out of line. What do you think? Was it rude of us as their guest or rude of him as a host to not accommodate us?
Ooh, man.
We don't know
Yeah,
who
we don't
was
know the
on what
restaurant.
side. But I would just presume, let's just gameplay this out here. What if he was a young whippersnapper Reagan Republican?
Yeah.
And the man that was the family, the patriarch of the family was left-leaning. What kind of restaurant would that be? I mean, how many people can you fit in a Starbucks for dinner?
I don't know.
Are there, let's think out loud. Are there like obvious left-leaning restaurants?
Man, I don't know.
Was it a drag show dinner?
That was the only thing that I could think. It was like, where would somebody take me?
Hamburger Mary's downtown.
And I'd be like, no.
Have you ever heard of Hamburger Mary's?
I've heard of it.
They have the best cheeseburgers. I don't know if they're still around, but we used to go there to eat for lunch and eat their cheeseburgers, and I just thought they had great cheeseburgers. It was something I elected to do. There wasn't a drag show going on when I was there. I've never been to a drag show, but it's just a choice I made. I like the whole drag thing to me is something that some people enjoy, some people don't. I don't really understand the crossover with children. And the hill that you want to die on is that children should be at drag shows.
Yeah, in libraries.
I'm sitting here going, I just can't get there with it. Can you think of conservative leaning restaurants?
Yes. I would say Chick-fil-A, but that doesn't seem like a restaurant.
But like Chick-fil-A didn't actually come out and was like, we're conservative. They didn't do anything. Like, they were
They're more Christian than they are conservative.
Right, and they had that label put on them by people that were mad at them.
Yeah. They openly support Christian causes. Like, I think Fellowship of Christian Athletes is one that they do a lot with. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not as if they're taking hard political positions. But you're right. That's put upon them. But they have taken positions that you would think they probably are conservative. Outside of them, there are individual restaurants, but I can't think of some sort of national name that you go travel somewhere else and go, oh, that restaurant, I have a problem with them. I just can't. And actually, I'm kind of encouraged by the fact that I can't think of the political leans of most restaurants. This is a good day.
So imagine it becoming a problem intra-family between an in-law, a child-in-law. I don't really care if this person is like if the young person is standing on his Republican values. Like, I'm not waiting to find out. I like that in this you can't tell whose party is whom's. But I just think that the assumption is that this young kid is dumb. And that that's the assumption. That's the theme of today, right? On the YouTube chat is that the younger you are, the stupider you are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, unless there was some sort, like if you were going to go, like, I have heard that there are wonderful meals that you can consume in Sage. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, it's like they always used to say, yeah,
Ryan,
go there for the wings.
What was your favorite buffet?
In Sage, I don't know firsthand. I can tell you that when I Ubered, a lot of people had a lot of suggestions to me when I would
So you do
drive
know
there.
a little.
Yeah, I'd say, I've been around the block a couple times because of the
You can recommend
the
from
car.
the recommendations.
I can recommend from the recommendations.
That sounds like a well thought out excuse. I Ubered.
Well, that's what happens. You don't know where the trip's going, so you just pick somebody up, and then you go, oh, hey, yeah, we are headed to the red light district. You
want to hear what Abby said to the response?
I have a response that I would like to say to this
throw it out there.
situation
the
first.
The final question here is, my wife agreed that her father was out of line. What do you think? Was it rude of us as their guests, or rude of him as a host to not accommodate us?
So I think that regardless of whether you come at this from the parent angle or from the kid angle, the best way to go about this would be, if you're the kid, to say, you know what, I don't love everything that they do, but if you want to go there, that's fine. I'll do whatever you want to do.
So you would go, but you would make sure that you were heard?
I think so. I think I would say, it's not my favorite place, but if you want to go there, I appreciate you wanting to treat us.
Pastor?
I think they're both wrong. I think they're both rude. I think that, in the spirit of being loving and caring about the people, because this is your family, that you should be willing to make that sacrifice for the other person. So, like, I can see where the dad got frustrated because the kid was like, I don't want to go there. But at the same time, it's like, okay, he's got some strongly held beliefs. I can put this on the side. Maybe we can find some place that we both wouldn't have a problem going. And you could just accommodate that, and it's not a really big deal. So I think that they're both being rude.
I like that I came at this from the kid's standpoint, and he came at it from the old man's standpoint.
That is shocking.
I love
that. There are scenarios where I could side with this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking of, I'm trying, because my default is this kid needs to shut up and go eat with his family that he's on vacation with, where dad is paying for this, and just don't make it about that. Because my question is, are we talking about, did they go to a Hobby Lobby? Like, my question is, like, how actively conservative can any restaurant be where it becomes a part of your dining experience? Because the only alternative where I can see myself being involved in this is if I were just like completely ridiculous to think about in my personal situation, but if my in-laws were like, we're in Arkansas where they have family, and we're going to go to a strip club, I would be like, I have a problem with this, and I'm not comfortable doing that. I would have to say something because I'm not going to end up there.
Oh, come on, Annie. I'm trying to treat you to a dinner.
Yeah. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful. Right. Like, I would step in and say, no, I don't want to be there, or I don't want to support that. I don't know that that's what's happening here. Like, there's not I'm trying to think of any reality that exists where the politics of the restaurant are so strongly intertwined with the experience of dining with your family where it needs to take precedence. And I can't really think of a realistic example of where that would be.
So the article didn't say whether the dad offered to pay for the meal all in ones.
It didn't say.
It didn't say. Just making sure.
Dear Abby responds, "Dear not going." I just got a text from my mother-in-law. I'll read that later. Dear
So
not
we're going
going.
out to dinner
And I
tonight,
actually
Annie.
think I have an idea where that text is going, and it's really funny, but it's not for public air. Dear not going. You have a loyal and loving wife. However, a more honest and less biased spouse would have pointed out privately that your manners were atrocious. I love Abby. A gracious guest accepts the hospitality
Got it.
offered by their host rather than trying to turn the occasion into a demonstration of cancel culture. You owe your father-in-law an apology. Yes, I like it.
All right,
I hadn't read that until just now. But I don't understand the idea of I am presenting this opportunity for us to dine together. Come eat at my table, which might be at Texas Roadhouse or something like that. Let's come be together, and I'm paying. And then a child being like, your morals are disgusting, and you should pay for my meal here. It's like, what the hell is wrong with people? I just don't understand that mentality. At best, if in this scenario, which my mother-in-law is now aware of and texting me about, if in this scenario my in-laws are like, we're going to take the family to the strip club. If I don't feel like I can say to them, I'm just not comfortable with that or supporting that, I am going to be conveniently occupied and unavailable. And I'm not going to tell them, like, I have a problem with your morals.
Well, but this person's on a trip there to visit them. It's not as if they're like, oh, shoot, we got to go to a soccer game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing else going on.
Sure there is. Stomach flu.
Oh, okay.
Something.
Okay. Oh, I just cannot get off that darn toilet today. Lo and behold, it's the day you wanted to go to that restaurant.
Oh, man. My husband had something yesterday, and my oldest daughter and I, we were this is the Christmas decoration conversation. I am trying so freaking hard to get Christmas decorations up in my house, and I cannot get to the point where the decorations can go up. And we were going to do it Friday night. We were going to do it Saturday. We were going to do it Sunday, and then my husband got sick on Sunday, so we did laundry all day yesterday at 3 different locations.
Oh, man.
Including my mother-in-law's house.
Was your husband really sick, or were you trying to go to a restaurant that you didn't like?
I was so happy to be out of the house. I kept calling and checking on him and trying not to wake him up, texting him and messaging him. No, he was sick. And he was at home today recovering, and I think he ate for the first time a couple hours ago.
Ooh.
So hopefully I'm not sick too.
No.
Oh, that's not right. Dear Abby.
Dear Abby, here's what the host of this radio show in St. Louis keeps doing. She keeps blowing her germs all over us.
Is that rude, or am I rude for being upset about it?
No, I'm rude. That was rude. I'm not sick. I don't think. I'm sick of some
You're
stuff.
in the contagious period right now. It's right before you get sick.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, no, I'm sick.
Yeah, you just sucked it into your lungs. Stick around. We'll be back with more Annie Frey Show. When we come back, vote in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. We're going to talk about that when we return. How many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? 1, 2, 3, or more than 4 or more. I got to read a text from my mother-in-law. We'll be right back.
Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa,
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tocopilla, Barranquilla, and Padilla. I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Well, this is great. I just love looking up all of the comments, not just comments from people who I know, but people who I've never met before who have visited Dr. Ty Parker and Fountains Family Dentistry. If you go to patientconnect365.com, there are hundreds and hundreds of reviews, probably of any doctor's office, but I looked them up on there, and they have a 5-star rating across the board. I don't know that I've ever seen that, and most of them are talking just about how friendly and wonderful all the staff is to be around at Fountains Family Dentistry in Fairview Heights. I found one in particular. Let me find it. I do miss going to this other doctor, Steven says, because I know him and his dad very well, but I had to look for a new dentist and was very pleased with everyone I came in contact with and have no regrets with my choice. I believe my wife will choose you guys. Also, very happy overall with this recommendation. So it's people like that I say, don't just listen to me. Listen to everybody who's ever been there to Fountains Family Dentistry and know that you're going to have a great experience with every aspect of it. Visit them online at fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
I'm Tony Kornheiser, and this is my show. My friends come on and you know them. We talk about the sports you care about, football, now basketball too, though we don't really pay attention until later in the year, and the absurdity that is our lives. Line etiquette at your local pharmacy, the current phase of the moon, the importance of talking to a human being on the phone, and most importantly, the power of a box of that. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Guy from the Good Feet store. Listen, if you've been suffering with knee, hip, or back pain, I've got news for you. The problem may be right under your nose. I'm talking about your feet. Think about it. Your whole body is supported by your feet, right? So if they're out of alignment, that could cause issues, not just in your feet, but your knees, hips, even your back. The Good Feet system helps put your feet in your ideal position. And once you do that, everything from there on up just might work better. I'm sure you've been frustrated trying all kinds of things to relieve a foot, knee, back, or hip pain, but maybe the solution was right in front of you the whole time at the Good Feet store. Just stop in and meet with one of our specialists who will personally fit you with the perfect arch support system. They'll let you walk around, try it for free, then you decide if they work for you before you buy. How great is that? Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations in Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeetstlouis.com. Find what you've been missing at the Good Feet store.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AA MCO.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun. Always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
There's a music station that fits your taste at Odyssey.com. Download the app for instant access to hundreds of music stations and listen live to 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it or stream from 971talk.com.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting.
is The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
It's good to be alive right about now.
Meeting here in the last 30 seconds.
That's all of our meetings. We don't have long meetings.
We don't have meetings.
Our meetings last
no,
a
actually,
total of
we
about
have
3
two
minutes.
meetings, and Ryan comes to the last 10 minutes of them.
Yeah, that did happen.
And because you were on the Glover show?
Yeah, last week.
Well, priorities.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't find out about that meeting until I was already almost done with that hour.
It's on your calendar.
Yeah, but it's always on the calendar, and we always cancel it.
No, we don't.
Yes,
I go to it every time.
You do, and then they say, we don't need Ryan for this meeting. Most of the time. That's true.
No, it's not true.
It is true.
It's not true.
It's not true. You just don't come and nobody tells you to come.
No, it's true that they have said many times, you know what, this is
Who's
probably just
they?
an Annie and Brad meeting. The people you're in the meeting with, Trisha and Steve.
Ryan, I'm going to level with you. There has been no meeting that I've been a part of that on those Wednesday evenings or Wednesday
I can show you
afternoons
the texts.
that they
Don't
say
worry.
this is just an Annie. They've never said that to me.
They don't say it to you because you're in the meeting.
Well,
They
don't
say
you
it to
think
me
it'd be
so that I
important
won't be
to
in it.
mention that to the executive producer of the show? It's like, hey, you know, Ryan doesn't need to be here, or does he need to be here for any particular reason?
No, it's like a default no at this point.
But that's the point. You've made it a default no. You're waiting to be asked to come to the meeting that's on your calendar.
No. This meeting, I was told, starts, like, come to it, because all of them, up until recently, I've been told, we don't need you for it.
I smell bologna
It's
sausage.
Snopes that. Snopes that.
I will show you the text right when this show is done.
Okay. Brad, you got to be on that. What percentage of the last, I would say, dozen meetings has Ryan specifically been told don't come? What percentage would you say it is?
I would love to know how many
do it-
meetings you guys have had, because at this point, I don't even know when you guys are having them.
That's the point. Is it on your calendar?
I don't know.
They're
Maybe.
Wednesday afternoons, bud.
They're not every Wednesday afternoon.
No, they're every other, which is what is on your calendar.
I'll get a message from Steve saying that this one has been canceled every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes from Steve.
So you get a message from Steve saying one's been canceled every now and then.
An
when we
email.
have 2 a month.
An email.
So 1 a month.
Yeah, but you're saying these are meetings that Annie and I are going to that you're being disinvited from.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not true.
It is
very
not true at all.
Well, the good news is that Steve's doing a listening session right now.
Good. This is all about you, buddy.
I was saying we were having a pre-show meeting, which is where you said we don't have meetings. That's how we got onto that tangent,
Yes.
is you said we don't have meetings. And we had one last Wednesday about our Christmas show. And we were putting together different ideas. We have on 97.1 the best Christmas programming in St. Louis, and I'm saying this, KZK's right down the hall. KZK's got their Christmas music going. Super cool, love it. It can't happen soon enough for me. But on Christmas Eve, which is a Sunday this year, and into Christmas Day, we do special programming, and it's an Annie Frey show takeover of the station that involves everybody from the station. And it's just our family. It's kind of like, I try to think of it like it's a gift to you on Christmas, where you can turn 97.1 on the radio in the house, or if you're going to and from family gatherings on the holiday, and it's palatable for everybody. It's special Christmas music that we pick out that is not really the mainstream stuff you're going to hear on any one location anywhere else. So it's cultivated from us, and we do this so that you can kind of experience the Christmas holiday the way we experience it with us. We talk about memories and so on and so forth. We also will, leading up until that point, talk about different places around the area that are celebrating Christmas, or different ways you can celebrate. For instance, the Polar Express is happening at Union Station once again. I think I'm going to be there Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that with my family. The Tillis Park lights are going to be up and ready for you to drive through soon. We're going to go experience that as well. there's just a lot of stuff that goes on. We want to share it with you, and we want you to feel like if you love Christmas as much as we do, that you can here on the Annie Frey Show. And if you are somebody who is in the area right now and you want to encourage people to check out something special that you have going with your business, and you'd like to partner with us to advertise for a sale or an opportunity, I am such a huge, huge advocate in gift giving to focus on experiences that you can share with people, time you can spend. My several of my kids' aunts will gift a shopping trip to my kids, which they'll go pick out an outfit, they'll go to lunch and stuff. That is the most valuable thing you can do, is the gift of your time and a nice place to go do it. So if you're interested in partnering with us at all through this Christmas season on getting the word out about what you're doing with your business, your product, your service, please let us know. You can email anniefreyshow@gmail.com. But we're going to attempt to do something very fun for our last Christmas show, which is probably going to be, it's either Thursday or Friday before Christmas. I got to get the details on that. There might be some live performances that are done. I'm just going to put it to you that way. Are you game for this?
Yeah, I'm in.
Another thing we want to do is we want to decorate the studio. And if you have an ornament that you would like to send us in, if you send us an ornament, as long as it's not like against FCC regulations or like profane, I would say, you can send an ornament to the radio station here, and we would love to decorate a Christmas tree in here with ornaments from listeners. You can send a note, a message. If you want to, we'll probably, depending on how many we get, once a week, talk about the ornaments that were sent to us at that point in time and give you a little shout out for doing so. If you're a listener, if you're a business or whatever, we would love to celebrate that with you. Sound good?
That sounds great. I am really interested to see what we're doing, because I have an idea, and then once it starts to come together.
What's your idea?
Well, I have an idea of what this sounds like, but I don't have, I have a couple of particular ideas, but I got to work on them.
Yeah, we'll try to do a lot of social media with it as well. So go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and subscribe, which is where you'll get to watch and hang out and comment along with us. The YouTube live chat poll right now that you can vote on: how many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? 1, 2, 3, 4, or more. Brad, Tim Scott drops out. That leaves there's not that many left. It's really pared down, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
How many come Iowa do you want to see, and who do you want them to be?
3. I think there will be 3 left. I think there should be 3 left, because those 3 would be Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and Nikki Haley. I think that those are the 3 best performing candidates right now. I think that they have 3 different things that they each offer uniquely, and that would make for a good choice for the voters of the people, or the caucusers of Iowa.
What do you think, Ryan?
I'm going to take the moral high ground here and say that it needs to be 4+, because this is America. Anybody who wants to run can and should be allowed to. And therefore, 4+. As many as want to be on the ballot.
Is it too late to get Ryan on the ballot?
America.
I don't. But, you think that that's this is not, how do I phrase this? I don't really care what's best for these candidates and what they want to do. I'm thinking about what's best for America. And I think that our best shot at getting a unified Republican Party is the sooner we pare down these the amount of candidates in this race. And just because you're in the race doesn't mean you have a snowball's chance of becoming the president. Don't you at some point, like Tim Scott, the end of Tim Scott's withdrawal statement to Trey Gowdy on Fox News when he made that announcement was, the voters have made it clear, this is not my time, so I'm stepping down. Mike Pence basically said the same thing and stepped down. If there are people that are still in it, Burgum, among others, Chris Christie, and I would say Ramaswamy, if there are others that are in it that are not going to become the president, the sooner the better for the primary, don't you think? For them to step down?
If it's my preference as far as a voter and what I would like to see happen.
That's the question.
Well, it's how many candidates should still be in the race come the caucuses January 15th. I think just if I'm going to pick just for personal preference, I'm going to say 3, kind of the same way as you did.
Same people?
Same people, yeah, because I don't really think Ramaswamy has a chance. And actually, if you're talking about somebody who's an alternative to Trump, you'd almost want to say 2, because then you'd have a real race. Because right now, I think even if you have 3, those other 2 are going to split the non-Trump vote enough that I don't think it's really a
I get
race.
what you're saying with almost 2, but I mean, with Iowa, I think 3 is a good number. If you would say, okay, Super Tuesday or whatever that day is, then yeah, you probably want it down to just 2. But at this point,
those 3 seem to have the most momentum.
The most momentum.
Not necessarily with polling or anything, but just with, attention, I would say, more than anything. And the Governor Kim Reynolds endorsement of DeSantis, we might say endorsements don't matter, but they do matter as far as the discussion goes and attention goes. And that does matter when Trump's leading the polls and the governor of the state says, no, I want to pick this guy. That stuff does matter.
I don't think it matters on a national scale, but it does matter in Iowa.
Yes.
And we've seen how narrow the margins are in some of the swing states as to, maybe in Georgia, an endorsement of the governor in a Trump v. Biden, maybe if Governor Kemp comes out, who is like super oppositional to Donald Trump intra-party, if Governor Kemp comes out and says Donald Trump needs to be the president for the future of this country, and if you heard Donald Trump say it, how many votes did he need? Was it like 8,000, 9,000 or something like 10,000? I mean, and listen to the whole phone call, folks. He's not asking for votes to be manufactured. He's asking for the challenges that he had, whether you like them or not. In that moment, he believed them to be true, to be essentially relitigated. But if Governor Kemp comes out and says, you got a problem with Trump because of the way he has acted in the Georgia situation, get over it and vote for him. And he does that with the support that he has gotten from a state that has resoundingly said, Kemp, you're our guy. Is that worth 10,000 votes? It probably is in Georgia.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's – I think people think about those things in terms of, oh, well, I was going to vote for Biden, but now that Kemp said Trump, I'm going to vote for Trump. That's not the way it works. It's people who are on the fence about voting at all go, yeah, you know what?
Or
I
RFK
like Kemp.
Jr. or Joe Manchin or, writing in, as Mitt Romney always says, according to the X's and O's game, his wife showing up to vote and saying, well, I'm just going to write in Mrs. Romney's name. I mean, you could get 10,000 votes in the entire state of Georgia if Kemp were to come out and say that.
I think that's true. Probably more.
What about Ramaswamy? Because this is all I think of when he's...
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
That's not Ramaswamy saying that.
No, that's
You're
me.
You're saying that to Ramaswamy.
That's me.
Okay. That's you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. He's not the guy.
He's not the guy. Everybody
He's not
knows
the guy.
that. Yeah.
No, not everybody. He doesn't.
Well,
you think he does?
I think he might. I think he knows he's not the guy.
You don't think he's running to be the president of the United States?
No.
What do you think he's doing?
I think he's raising his profile to do things in politics.
But why would he want to do things in politics? What does he want to do?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what he wants to do, but he might do a Buttigieg, for instance. Maybe he ends up as a cabinet position.
What do you think?
I think he wants to be president. I don't think you run. I don't think you spend your own money the way he's spending his own money to not win president. Now, I think that that's true of everybody that ran for president. I don't know that there was anybody that jumped into this stage, that jumped into the Republican primary that says, I'm going to do this, but I don't have a chance at winning. I mean, you could just hear it in Trey Gowdy's voice, or not Trey Gowdy's voice, in Tim Scott's voice. I thought it was my time. The voters told me otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Mike Pence. I thought it was my time. The voters told me otherwise.
Dan has an idea on YouTube. Let Vivek MC the next debate.
Oh, man.
Let them MC their own debate.
What if he moderates the next debate?
Nikki Haley, why am I scum?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You want to get viewership? There you go. Done.
For me, I'm a 3, maybe 4, not 4+. I want them to pare this down. And I think Iowa, I know a lot of people want to see the Trump versus the not Trump primary vote as soon as possible. I am one of those people. I really like Ron DeSantis, and I hope that he's the president one day. Everything, it's interesting to me to look at the things that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's people criticize Ron DeSantis for, because they are not policy things. It's his boots or his smile or his personality. Donald Trump's personality, while it may be his greatest asset, is also his greatest fault. I mean, just political baggage, that is Donald Trump's Achilles heel. And you're not going to get... Donald Trump is a fully known quantity for people. There are very few people who are going to look at Donald Trump and learn something, even though a lot of people should open their eyes and see that he's not the boogeyman that he's been made out to be. I just don't see people changing their mind. And he brings people out to the polls, for sure, but on both sides. I think Ron DeSantis is enough. I mean, if you go back and you think about how Joe Biden got elected, it was, well, let's go back to 2016. How did Donald Trump get elected? Well, we don't know much about this guy, but we know about Hillary Clinton, and we'll take a chance on Donald Trump. Then we learned as conservatives that Donald Trump really governed as one of the most conservative, if not the most conservative presidents of my lifetime. And I was a little one when Ronald Reagan was the president. But Donald Trump was very conservative in many ways that people didn't anticipate him to be, and they rolled the dice on him. And he proved formidable in that way. But the psychotic, brainwashed leftist media that peddles and carries all the water for the people who just detest him because he threatened their power, they ultimately won out. When you think about the increase in votes that Donald Trump got from 2016 to 2020, I think he got 8 million more votes. Is that the right number? It's the number rolling around in my head. To think that Donald Trump increased his vote total by 8 million votes under the circumstances with which he were the president, the media coverage, the aggressive hate mongering that existed on a daily basis, on a minute-by-minute basis against Donald Trump, and in the midst of COVID, Donald Trump still got 8 million more votes. The people who showed up to vote for Joe Biden, same thing as 2016. I don't know what Joe Biden's going to do, but we know what this guy offers us, and we want something different. When you go into 2024, if you have Joe Biden versus Ron DeSantis or Joe Biden versus Nikki Haley, I think that momentum shifts back away from the known quantity. If it's Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, I think there's like an implosion and we combust. Or maybe that what devil comet comes and just takes care of business.
Now, that devil comet's not even really going to hit Earth, but, I guess we could always hope.
Is that what the leftist-leaning media told you?
Or did you hear that from the science?
Yeah, exactly. Go vote on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll give you the results to how many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th. 1, 2, 3, or 4 or more on the Annie Frey YouTube channel in the live chat of our live broadcast. You can vote. Tell us what you think. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
MySlim180.com. There's the website where you can go register for a free consultation. And when you go to MySlim180.com, you're going to learn of the different ways that they can help you lose weight and get healthy. And you can do this quickly. They've got gift certificates for sale right now. So if you're thinking that you really do want to lose the weight, but you're feeling that maybe it's too close to the holiday season, buy yourself a gift certificate, give it to yourself for Christmas, and start in the new year. When you go to MySlim180.com and you register for that free consultation, you're going to get a $25 off an appointment by mentioning Annie, and you're going to get 20% off nutritional guidance, Crave, or Regenerate weight loss programs. And they accept FSA and HSA dollars. So if your FSA dollars look to be expiring at the end of the year, make sure that you spend them with Slim180 and invest in yourself. You can lose up to 20 pounds in as little as 6 weeks with the counseling, the guidance, and the materials from Slim180. They have semaglutide. They have tirzepatide. These are the injections that are helping people all over the place lose weight and do it in a counseled, safe fashion with Slim180. And when you go to Slim180, you're going to get those injections for incredibly cheaper than straight from the pharmacy. To learn more information about how you can lose up to 20 pounds in as little as 6 weeks, go to MySlim180.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today is named Under Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
We'll continue to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
The Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is celebrating veterans this November. Mark Cox here. Overhead Door Company is doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services for November. That means veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Choose a new garage door opener, or any service or repair and save 10%. Call them at 314-781-5200 or go to overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how long your money will last? Are you also sick of worrying about losing your life savings in the next market crash? I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. Let us build your own personalized structured income plan, which will show you how much income you can receive in retirement, but more importantly, it will show you how long your money will last. Stop wondering if you have enough to retire comfortably.
Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategies you won't hear from your broker or banker. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping our clients retire with confidence for the past 37 years. Let us help you. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll of the day: how many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? The answers that you can give are 1, 2, 3, or 4 plus. Let us know what your answer to that question is right now on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. It is 2:49. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Columbia University, they have taken action against 2 pro-Palestinian student groups because they have not followed the rules and they've done things that have violated some of the campus policies. So there are some universities that are doing something and taking action.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Our YouTube live chat poll for today: how many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? Ryan, was your ultimate vote 4 plus or 3? Or
I'm
3.5?
I'm going to stick with 4 plus.
4 plus. Brad?
I'm a 3.
I'm 3 as well. Sheepdog says 1, the Donald. Rip says, I said 3, but I think it's okay for more until after South Carolina. If you did not place first or second in any of the first 3, then drop out. I like that thought. Hunter said, I picked 1, but by that I mean Donald Trump plus 1 other person, Nikki or Ron. So Hunter, that equals 2. Jackie says, I chose 3, and I would like to see Trump, DeSantis, and Vivek. Nikki would be interesting too. Betsy said, I chose 3 as well. Saw a clip of Vivek and Obama's statements. They're very closely the same statements. Another reason, I don't trust him. Corey said, it would be nice if it was only 2 candidates, but realistically, I think it will be 3. Greg says, I voted 3 candidates. For Iowa, it should narrow to top 2 after the first 3 states. So those are the reactions to the poll so far today. You can get your votes in right now by going to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and I'll give you the results here in a few minutes when we wrap up the show. Do you guys, so you said earlier, I said I don't have any of my Christmas decorations up yet, Ryan, because I'm trying so hard. I have to, in my mind, in order to be at peace with Christmas decorations, I have to super clean the house before the Christmas decorations go up. Because once you put Christmas decorations up, there are things that are not going to get clean for weeks.
That's a good point.
So it needs to be really clean. How much decorations have you gotten up in your house so far?
We don't do a lot outside of my living room and the outside. So we did the living room. We haven't done the outside yet.
What do you put up in your living room?
Mainly the tree.
So the tree is up.
The stockings are up. And then the little things on the tables around the room are up too.
So the tree is up.
Yeah, the tree's up, except that big bone to pick. Do it every year. The lights don't work again.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a pre-lit tree.
It's a scam.
None of them work.
That's the worst thing.
And so I've bought, lights throughout the years to replace the areas that didn't work. Now the whole thing doesn't work. Now the lights that I bought to replace those don't work. How hard is it to make Christmas lights that are on for maybe a month out of the year that can stay past one season?
There's nothing like the start of Christmas and Christmas cheer to deal with Christmas lights that don't work. Half a strand works. Every fourth light doesn't work. It is maddening. My husband and I have, in the last couple of years, just bought new lights before we even put stuff up. And you get them, you sit the boxes next to the tree, you put the tree up. When the old lights don't work, you take those away and you put a new strand in, but you have them there so that it's not a game stopper.
Yep.
But it is a racket.
It is a racket. I mean, that's one of the least efficient things in all of American society is Christmas lights.
Pre-lit Christmas trees.
And specifically those, because you pay a premium for that. And it works for maybe a year.
I don't understand why people buy them.
Because you can't find them without them.
It
yes,
is
you
harder.
Can, in a field.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's what I do.
I mean, I'm of that mindset too, but this has been something my wife and I have been looking for 2 years now, a decent unprelit tree.
I don't want to give away my secret. Should I?
Well, it's going to be a weird 2 minutes if you decide not to say anything.
I can go to the YouTube live chat poll.
We'll give away your secret then.
Okay. Go to estate sales.
Get Christmas trees?
Yes. And decorations. And there are older things there. If you're going to an estate sale and it's where I got the majority of my Christmas decorations, the most recent estate sale was my grandmother's. And I've talked many times about how we put up my grandma's Christmas decorations. It was something I did every year since I was 6 until she died in 2020. On Black Friday, I was to be at grandma's house putting up decorations. And I traditionally will go all year round and look at estate sales for the Christmas tote. And if it's A, a good tote with a lid, and B, it has some good stuff in it, I'll just make an offer on the tote, buy the whole tote. I will go past the dumpster on the way home, throw out the things I don't want, keep the tote, put new Christmas decorations in it if I buy them. But I ended up buying from my grandmother's estate sale all of her Christmas decorations because I just couldn't not.
I've actually done that because my deer in my front yard keep going out too. I keep getting to replace them.
Like going out together on a nice date.
They don't come back.
Daddy, why are they doing that? Just making Christmas magic.
Because it's November.
It's cold outside. Anyway, the YouTube live chat poll for today, completely unrelated. How many GOP candidates should still be in the race come the Iowa caucus on January 15th? Only 12% agree with Ryan, 4+. But some of you do. One candidate, 18%. 2 candidates, 25%. 46% of y'all said 3 candidates by Iowa. So
that
I think
makes sense.
That's kind of what you said, too.
I do, but I still like the free-for-all of Iowa.
Yeah.
Let Iowa wean them down.
But they need to, well, I like the idea of candidates making their own decision, a la Tim Scott. It's not my time. Join us tomorrow on the YouTube live chat on 97.1 FM Talk. Mark Reardon up next.
So beat the drum with me. I'm not America's sweetheart. Will they stop until I fuck this time?
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-238-7360. That's 314-238-7360. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
ClassicKitchenRefacing.com is the website. Have you been looking to remodel your kitchen? And you've maybe priced it out and you thought, okay, that's pretty penny. Maybe not in this economy. If you still want that beautiful kitchen, it is a phone call or a visit to their St. Anne store away. Visit ClassicKitchenRefacing.com or call 314-739-1730. This is an incredibly less expensive way to remodel your kitchen. You can change the look of your cabinets to a wood or a paint color, add new hinges and pulls, install a beautiful backsplash. Everything looks new and fresh in just 3 to 5 days. This is such a fast turnaround for so much less money. Reach out to Classic Kitchen Refacing. Your jaw will drop when you see some of the projects that they've been able to complete. How about yours next? 314-739-1730. 314-739-1730. In St. Anne, this family-owned and operated business. Incredibly happy to be partnering with them to get the message out. You can visit them online to learn more. Visit ClassicKitchenRefacing.com.
Helen, are you really hosting both sides of your family for Thanksgiving this year?
Yes. Am I crazy?
You're not crazy, but with food prices going up as quickly as they are, you might be broke.
Oh, I'm not worried about the cost. I use the cash back app Upside, and I get cash back on everything I buy when I shop at Schnucks.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real cash back just for buying groceries with the Upside app?
Yes. Last year, I made a little over $200 back just from shopping at Schnucks.
Wow, that's serious cash back. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning real cash back on everything you buy at Schnucks. Use promo code FAMILY for an extra 10% cash back on your first purchase. You can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FAMILY for an extra 10% cash back on your first purchase at Schnucks. That's code FAMILY.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.